the dial, turn it loud. Miami's pride, make us proud. CanesWear crew, you hear the crowd. Hurricanes ain't backing down. Every play, every score, raising bets and raising roar. Rocking orange, green galore. All for one and one for four. We got FTSN, taking names, winning again. Podcast fam, till the end. Tune in, now let's begin.
Hello and welcome to the CanesWear podcast. Today is Tuesday special edition show, November 18th. And as we all saw, we just saw the poll rankings come out. We're going to be discussing that a lot of the show today. We're going to be discussing, of course, the victory that we just had this week against North Carolina State and the upcoming game against Virginia Tech. I'm Brett. I'll be with Gio tonight. Mondo will be joining us in a little bit. Remember, we're sponsored by the FTSN Network. Please like and subscribe. Bobby and the team do a great job. And go ahead, like and subscribe, share it, and everything like that. Sponsored by CanesWear, of course, The Spot, South Florida, and Miami Fan Shop. All your local goodies there, from Canes to Panthers, Florida Panthers, that is, two-time champions back-to-back. Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami's in the playoffs. CanesWear has you covered, the only independent store of its kind in South Florida or anywhere carrying the merchandise that we do. But exciting times. It's amazing. 2 weeks ago, we were ranting about Mario. He's got to change. And something happened, because I believe that somebody much bigger than our rants, maybe he listened to Gio, maybe he listened to me, maybe he listened to some of the other thousands of people online talking about it. But the offense has definitely been different the last 2 weeks. I'm very proud of Mario for making the changes. I don't think he had a big choice. Probably they said, hey, are you going to micromanage this team or you want to win? And it came out that he wants to win. So the offense has been very exciting. A lot of players are getting the ball more. We're getting the ball in space. We're seeing run. We're no longer just going in the A and B gap. Defense has been phenomenal both games. Our defense, I believe, is good enough to win a national championship, but definitely to get to the Final Four. But first, we got to get in the playoffs. And without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our main man, Gio, who's got all the information for us about the polls. Welcome, Gio.
Yeah. Interesting night. So second consecutive week where Miami jumps a team that was in front of them. This time it's Vanderbilt, who Miami leapfrogged. Yes, I know people have their complaints about Utah and BYU being in front of them. Utah, their next two opponents, they're both a combined 6-14. Miami's opponents upcoming, the next two, much better opponents in terms of overall record in comparison to that. And then the other thing you throw onto the table there, BYU, they're not guaranteed a spot in the playoff, and very simply why. Number one, they are ranked 12th, which will go to an ACC winner and a G5 for 11th and 12th spots currently with the way the rankings stand. So what also comes into play for BYU, they still got to play their conference championship against a Texas Tech team that absolutely rattled them a few weeks back, 26-7, if anyone recalls that game a couple weeks back. So everything will handle itself in terms of those two teams in front of them. Where my concerns start to come in is seeing, this is just my opinion, Alabama at number 10. I'm sorry. Yes, I know the certain wins they have and everything. The bottom line at the end of the day, when it comes to Alabama and Notre Dame, and I said this over the weekend, and I had a X post that went super viral that just hundreds and hundreds of people were commenting on, where I said that it would be absolutely unacceptable, basically, if Notre Dame and Alabama finished ahead of Miami in the college football playoff rankings heading into the postseason. And very simple. Number one, at the end of the day, Miami has the head-to-head victory over Notre Dame. And even better yet, I got a great statistic about Notre Dame that's not being discussed, because everyone talks about, the resume and how does this team look and how does that team look? Do people realize who Notre Dame has played in the rest of their 10 games this season? Notre Dame has gone 1-2 in ranked matchups. They've played 3 ranked teams this year. They lost to Miami, they lost to Texas A&M, and then they beat USC. So they're 1-2 in ranked games. Miami's 3-0 in ranked games this year. They've gone 2-0 against G5 teams. The 7 other Power 4 teams they've faced this year have gone a combined 8-48 against other Power 4 teams in college football this season. And mind you, they also do not play in a conference, and they do not have a conference championship either. I'm sorry, call me the biggest hater of Notre Dame in the world. I am absolutely their biggest hater because it's outright wrong. It would be absolutely outright wrong for Notre Dame to receive a spot in the playoff over Miami. And that's absolutely why I posed the question over the weekend. I'm sure many people who are watching or were on Twitter over the weekend with all the discourse going on about the rankings, when I said, well, if it comes down to it, that it's between Miami and Notre Dame for a final playoff spot, and Notre Dame gets that spot, I asked people the question, do you think Miami should cancel their game with Notre Dame next year? My answer, I didn't say it at the time, but my answer, I'll say it here. I think Miami should absolutely cancel that game next season if their playoff spot is taken away from them for beating the team that's going to get that spot. In no world does this make sense. It really doesn't.
Well, Gio, let me just stop you right there for a moment. I agree against Notre Dame, that'd be an issue. And I do believe Miami, and I've said it from the beginning, once Miami gets closer to Notre Dame, and the head of the committee, the new head of the committee said it, we're not putting Miami against Notre Dame now because they're too far apart. We're 4 spots apart. We know 3 spots is the magic number. And he said once they get closer together, then we will weigh them together, then head to head, which is a cop-out, we know. But the fact is we are ahead of a lot of other good teams that have 2 losses also. We're ahead of everybody in the ACC, even though we're way back in the ACC. We have very little chance of winning the ACC. It can happen. We're ahead of Michigan. We're ahead of a lot of teams with 2 losses because of our victory over Notre Dame. If we did not have that victory against Notre Dame, we'd possibly be behind Michigan. We'd possibly be behind a lot of these teams. We may not even be in the top. We'd be near Virginia, maybe even worse than Virginia, who's 19 right now, right? So is Virginia 19 or 16? Either way,
I'd have to look at the full.
You have to look at. While I do believe, which I said everywhere on X, on Facebook, just blow out the 4 games we play. We've already done it twice, and the committee, we will definitely get in. I don't even want to just get in. I want a home game. I think we have a shot to get to 8 if we do what we have to do on the field. Everybody's making a big deal. Are we ahead of Notre Dame? Are we not? Are we better? Hey, we've done this before where we've complained and complained and complained only to lose a game. And then we got total egg on our face. So it's going to happen. I think nationally, everybody knows we should be ahead of Notre Dame. The committee said today they've got to be closer. Well, teams aren't going to be losing. They're going to be playing each other, so we're going to get closer. Once we get closer, there's no doubt in my mind that we will be ahead of Notre Dame. 100%, in my opinion. But in respect to, do we play Notre Dame or not, we would not even be in this conversation if we didn't beat Notre Dame. If we would have beat, let's say, Miami of Ohio. We wouldn't be in this conversation.
I think my issue that comes into play, it also has to do with the Notre Dame supporters and the apologists out there for Notre Dame, that they constantly go on with this diatribe of, oh, you got a rented stadium. You got no fans that show up in your stadium. Oh, you guys lost to SMU. You guys lost to Louisville. Meanwhile, a season ago, they made it all the way to the championship game. I think how little they forget. They lost to Northern Illinois last season. You could lose to anybody any given week in college football. It absolutely can happen. But I think the bottom line to me, it comes down to, if both Miami and Notre Dame are 10-2 at the end of the season, the final rankings on December 7th that will roll out, which will determine everything. If they give Notre Dame a ticket and Miami does not get a ticket to the playoff, blow this system up.
I
blow the
don't think they
system up?
will. I
Because
personally think we will get the game. I know Notre Dame is big, but we're very big too. We've already shown where we are ranking in the television audiences. We're right there. All right. So I think everybody is worried for nothing. First of all, there's still a lot of football to be played. All right, for everyone. Notre Dame's okay. There's a lot of football to be played. I mean, I don't think we should be as worried as we are.
well, there's still many scenarios that could play out too. For example, yes, Texas Tech handled BYU some weeks ago, but they're as of now they're slated to play each other again in their conference championship game. What happens if BYU beats Texas Tech? Does Texas Tech stay in the field? They only have one loss. It may be possible that they stay within it, and
Correct.
BYU gets a spot in. That creates more chaos there.
Mm-hmm.
You also have to consider the factor of which team is it again? Oh my goodness, with USC. USC has a game coming up with Oregon. Oregon has looked very shaky this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've continued to drop down the polls every X amount of weeks because their win over Penn State does not look that great anymore. And they've struggled with teams this year. So what happens if a USC beats Oregon? USC could potentially leapfrog Miami. So there's a lot of moving parts right now with these rankings. Do I think Miami ultimately will pass Utah? Yes.
I have no idea why. We're all worried about Notre Dame. How is Utah? We all said, how is Utah ahead of us? How is Vanderbilt? We knew Vanderbilt was
Well, I think here's my thing
ahead of the University of Miami.
Here's my thing, Brett.
Can't even do the U right.
I think they're doing correction with the rankings. I think there was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction with the first initial rankings about 3 weeks ago when they released them, how low they had Miami coming off the loss and everything. And everyone was like, oh, no, it's over and whatnot. Even I thought at the time, considering where Miami was ranked, I'm like, man, this is going to be really difficult for them to find a way back in. And then sure enough, chaos ensued in college football and that door started to open again. But I'm with you. I don't understand how Utah's in front. I do think that will get corrected. I think you've seen it in recent weeks. Miami ended up jumping Georgia Tech. They ended up jumping over Vanderbilt this week. My prediction, I think they're going to jump over Utah in the next rankings. I think at minimum by this time next week, maybe Miami's number 12 or number 11.
As long as we win, and the bigger we win, the better. Mario's got to understand this isn't just mano a mano, like I say, let's just win by 1 point or a field goal. We need to blow these teams out. I hated even putting in the second and third string defenders and giving up a touchdown. I wanted 41-0, just like I wanted the previous week, give up 3 points. So at this point in time, it's all about winning. I know you don't want to get guys hurt. I know I'm getting carried away there. 41-7 is still a good victory. And we actually beat North Carolina State more points than Notre Dame beat them, even letting up that touchdown, which is a common opponent. We got a common opponent with Alabama. We know they got blown out by Florida State. And, we had Florida State blown out, but we did win the game. So all these common opponents are supposed to mean something. So is Alabama in our tier? They call them tiers, I guess. Are we in the same tier as Alabama? Why are they 2 spots ahead of us?
Yeah. To me, it doesn't make sense because Miami has a common opponent victory over them. The only way there is a comparison there that you can make between those two teams. They both played one similar team, Florida State. What happened? Alabama lost. Miami won over Florida State. I think there's absolutely a case for Miami over Alabama too, which is why even some Alabama fans came at me. They were like, oh, how could you say that? Oh, that Miami over Alabama. Blah, 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 blah. And lo and behold, they ended up losing to Oklahoma over the weekend. But it's just, to me, it's insanity. I think some of this will be corrected along the way. The bottom line remains, though, like I've said since the first rankings, because the ACC keeps on moving along and Miami's chances are very slim to even get into the ACC title game. You want to be in at large with an at-large spot at minimum number 10 at the end of the day. The first week of December, you want to be number 10. If you're number 10, you are in. You have nothing to worry about if you're Miami, if you're number 10. So
I think Miami always has something to worry about. You never know what can happen at the last second on those polls.
Yeah, well, perfect example. It was Alabama, who was a 3-loss team last year. They ended up moving ahead of Miami, who was a 2-loss team. I mean, you could make the case last year that Miami didn't have the same resume as this season, but it's just so many things that come into play. And then you also have the factor of ESPN has been trying to push this. I call it propaganda, what they've been trying to push about a 3-loss Texas team getting into the playoff if they beat Texas A&M the last week. I don't think any 3-loss team should be in a playoff. That's my opinion.
I mean, no doubt about it. I don't think so. There could be a 3-loss team, but it shouldn't be Texas right now. And somebody mentions it on here. One of the questions we'll get to in a minute. We'll get to the comments in a moment. Mondo should be joining us as well. When is it that losses became more important than wins? Losses. It's like, okay,
I want to know
that. Lost. Look who they lost to. Big deal.
I had Brett. I had Notre Dame fans argue with me between Saturday and early Sunday morning, telling me, "Oh, but our losses are better." A loss is a loss at the end of the day. A loss is a loss at the end of the day.
One of the losses is us. That loss shouldn't
That's
count.
what I said. I said, what does that say about Notre Dame? If you're talking about who Miami lost to, what does that say about Notre Dame that they lost to Miami?
And we lost to 2 teams that lost 3. Each team lost 3 games each. I mean, it's not like these were slouches. Not like they were Northern Illinois. Not like they were. I mean, each of these teams lost 3 losses, and they are relatively ranked. I mean, they're close. But didn't that happen last year? Also, they didn't put ACC teams in the top 25, so they can say, "Hey, you didn't lose to it." I mean, there's so much shenanigans that go on. And it's scary. So we know we need to do it on the field. If Miami goes out there, blows out, which is going to be a tough game in the cold against Virginia Tech, we should blow them out. Blow out, and then we know Pittsburgh. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's not that Notre Dame played to a Pittsburgh team that didn't care." Hey, Pittsburgh's our toughest team on the schedule right now, and everybody's worried about it. So I'd say, you know what? We just have to do what we have to do. That's what the team has to focus on. Hopefully they know now we need to blow this team out. If we blow them out, we can move up. There's several teams to move up against.
Here's the other thing I want to bring up. These are literal arguing points that Notre Dame fans have been trying to say for the last several days. My basically my notification inbox on Twitter is totally busted right now. Just the amount of replies and comments they have. Hundreds and comments and then quote tweets, hundreds there. I don't know. It's probably up in the thousands now that have been complaining back and forth. But one of their other arguing points was also, what was it this guy said? He mentioned something that, so Miami's getting worse as the season goes along and Notre Dame's getting better. And I mentioned, Brett, earlier about the teams they've played this year. They've literally played nobody. Mm-hmm. Almost nobody since their first 2 games. And yeah, they beat USC, but we're going to see really soon how good USC is when they play Oregon. We'll find that out.
Sure, well, that was a big victory. They're a team with 2 losses.
But the thing is, so they bring that up. They're saying, "Oh, that Miami's getting worse." Miami, the last 2 weeks, the opponents they've played, Stanford, obviously not that great of a team and whatnot, but Syracuse, not so much either this year. But NC State, I just want to remind people, this is the narrative that was coming into that game. NC State just came off of beating I think they were number 7 or number 8, undefeated, ranked in the country and in the playoff rankings too, Georgia Tech. NC State beat them by 12 points. It was 48-36. Following week,
48 points.
Yeah, following week, Miami blows them out. So I don't know what to say here, but especially Miami's last 2 games too, Miami scored over 70 points on their last 2 opponents. And the opponents have only put up, what is it? I think it's like 17 points. Yeah.
And 2 of those
that's not impressive. I don't know what to say.
On top of that, before we say welcome to Mondo, I mean, not only did they give a 48, Georgia Tech gave a 48, North Carolina State did not pass the 40-yard line of the Canes until the last drive, if I'm correct.
When all the backups were in.
That's almost impossible.
when all the second stringers were in the game was when they finally had some motion on offense.
And
they
I'm
couldn't
hearing
get into
more
Miami's
national
territory the whole game.
exactly, and more national pundits, more people are supporting Miami in this fight right now. It's going to be very difficult for the committee not to look at it. And they're talking about Miami was actually blowing Notre Dame out until they went conservative. So we'll get to all that again. Welcome to the show, Mondo. Thanks for joining us. The kids are in bed.
I did my daddy duty. How you doing, guys? What's up?
We're doing great.
What's up, Mondo?
What's up? What's up, Gio? What's up, Brett? What's up, everybody?
What's your feeling? We're doing fantastic. By the way, I'm drinking beet and blueberry freeze-dried juice, so my mouth is purple and blue, and my lips. That's the reason. This is my new recipe, my new go-to. Started it. Beet and blueberry.
I don't usually drink on Tuesdays, but these kids, man, I might have to hit a bottle after this. No, just hearing. I mean, I heard a little bit of you guys earlier when I was putting the little one to bed, and yeah, I mean, again, it's a lot of people, and I was texting with a buddy of mine a little while ago. A lot of people, and rightfully so, are pitting this Miami versus Notre Dame, but also you got other factors involved, like the G5 gets a guaranteed spot. Somebody just posted Tulane would get in right now as a 23.5 dog to Texas Tech in a first-round matchup. Is that what we want?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, we don't.
And if I'm being objective, and Lord knows I hate Notre Dame with every ounce of me, Notre Dame and Miami are both top 12 teams in the country. If you watch college football and you know football, Notre Dame obliterated Pitt last week. And a lot of people, me included, took Pitt with the points. They smoked them. So Notre Dame and Miami both belong there, but we beat them. We need – the key for us is going to be now, unfortunately, Oklahoma lost. Beat Alabama, sorry. So now BYU, they play Cincy this week. And they're probably going to get – if they win – they'll play Texas Tech again in essentially a home game for Texas Tech in Jerry's world. If they lose that game, which they probably will, I don't think BYU is anything, but how are they going to feel? They've lost 2 games, and they're going to get penalized for making their conference championship, while teams that didn't make their conference championship might get in. The whole thing is crazy. Yeah. It's really like BCS 2000-ish. It's not – I don't see it getting – it's crazy, man. It's nuts.
It's still better than the BCS. It's still better than the old days of the.
Granted.
And they said today, the head of the committee, the new head, because I don't know what happened to the old guy. I mean, something happened there. Obviously, it was more than just the committee here. Something happened, but but he did say, it seemed afterwards. He said Notre Dame, Miami, we're not even comparing them together because they're in different tiers. I don't know what constitutes a tier, but they also asked what happens if the team gets to the championship game, their championship, and they lose, is that going to count against them? And I thought he said it's going to count against them just like any other loss. So for the team that wins it, it's great. For the team that loses it, it's going to count like a loss. So right now it's Mississippi and Texas A&M, right, in the SEC?
No. It would be what? The SEC championship?
SEC
championship.
Georgia,
right?
Georgia and Texas A&M right now.
Okay, so if a team loses, so we want a team that has 2 low, but Georgia still plays Georgia Tech. It's possible. I mean, there's a lot of football still to play. We just need
but that's not a conference.
We need to just do what we need to do.
But that's not a conference loss for Georgia.
No, but it'll put them down in the rankings if they lost Georgia like they almost lost last year.
Oh, the next 2 weeks are going to get messy. You got like Gio just alluded to. USC plays Oregon. What if Michigan upsets Ohio State? I mean, I don't think they'll get to the top 10, but what you don't know.
Exactly.
Who knows?
We'll be rooting for Ohio State that game. You never know. Then they'll say you just beat the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, what we need right now is obviously the first and foremost to keep kicking ass. That's what we need to do. Like, go into Virginia Tech and just obliterate those guys. Leave like no doubt to the committee and just force them to put them up there. I mean, if you squeak by, obviously if you lose, you're done. But if you squeak by like 23-20, they're not gonna have any incentive to move you up to 9, 10, 11 or whatever. But if they keep playing, because I was there last week, that defense was absolutely relentless. That team they played, like Gio said, they beat the number 7, number 8 team in the country. Their quarterback is talked about as maybe being our quarterback next year. They smoked them. They had no chance. I mean, I feel terrible.
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't close. And Jacoby Thomas, what a privilege to watch that kid play football. My God.
He should be an All-American.
I'm not even joking. That guy, I'm not talking about the 2 picks. Like every play, even the most I love his passion. He goes around the end. He makes a great tackle of a running back. He's fired up every play. I love watching that kid play. But team-wise, we've got up 5 spots now in 2 weeks. We were dead in the water, guys.
Mhm.
We were on this show talking about our season's over, me included. They haven't quit. The coaching, I mean, we're quick to, me included, go after the coaches, the players, but you know what? They deserve praise. They've come out and the last 2 weeks, the coaching's been great. I think I just saw that Heatherman and Dawson were the co-coordinators of the week in the country. I think they said last weekend. Yeah, CBS Sports,
they were.
OC and DC of the week. So they're doing their thing, Mario, everybody, and now it comes down to what we always look at: the 2 road games in November that we've been talking about, especially Pitt. People are talking about Pitt like they're prime Bama, but until we get over that hump and do it, you know. But I like how we're playing right now. They're playing.
By
really
the way,
I
wanted to share. Thank you, everyone, for the passion tonight. I just took a look at the numbers. We've had over 2,500 people watching in the first 20 minutes.
There
here.
you go.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Thank you.
People are really passionate about these playoff rankings.
Absolutely.
They need to schedule these at 8:30 all the time. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's amazing. That's just thank you. Yeah, I see a lot of good chats and everything like that. Let's just say now, real quick, North Carolina State. What did we like about the game? What didn't we like about the game, if anything? Mondo, what did you take away the game? What were your big points that you enjoyed about this game that you thought were special?
I'll get to the defense obviously in a second, but we got ourselves a player in that backfield right now. I like what we were doing earlier in the season, running the ball. Some people are running backs, some people are difference makers. This young man back there right now is a difference maker. He's going to make people miss when others probably not taking a shot at nobody else, but it's football. Sometimes you got to make that man miss up the middle or on a screen pass or whatever. That young man back there, he's a player. He's a player. He's Pringle. He's your RB1 going forward, period. That's what I think. Because I think I know football, and I think he's that good. I think he's your number 1 running back going forward, regardless of injuries to whoever or not. And defensively, from the very first series of NC State, they were coming after him. And the crowd, was it a sellout? No, it wasn't a sellout. Far from it. Crowd was into it. It was loud in there. And overall, it was a throttling. And I knew they were going to – Texas lost, so I knew we were going to jump them. I said for the last 2 days we would pass Vandy. And so we passed Vandy when Vandy was on a bye week and GT was on a bye week. The key for us now and what happened, the reason we didn't pass BYU and Utah was because they had 2 blowout wins. I didn't expect BYU to blow out TCU. That was very disappointing. But BYU is a 2-point favorite at Cincinnati. They can lose that game. So we need – Utah might be a little harder, but we're going to need at least one of them to slip up to have a shot to move up. But what did I like? It was probably all around. It was just an amazing effort on Saturday. It was really – I'm anxious to hear what you guys had to say, but it was – I walked out of there last home game of the season, 8 home games as a fan, and I mean, whatever happens going forward, obviously I'll be extremely disappointed if they don't make the playoffs, but good times at the stadium this season. Notre Dame, UF. That Friday night sucked. Looking back, everybody's talking about the SMU game, but damn, if we could have that Louisville game back, shit, man. But can't change that.
That game plan, there's no doubt in my mind, we come with the same game plan we came with this game, and in Syracuse, we dominate both Louisville and SMU.
There's been like people talking behind the scenes. Okay, did he finally relinquish play calling to the OC after the SMU loss? Clearly something happened. I mean, you don't got to be a Harvard grad. Look, whatever coaches and players and Gio can tell you, we don't look at the media. We don't hear what they're saying bullshit. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got an iPad. I can search Brett's name, Gio's name, my name, and within 2 seconds, you know what they're saying about you. So, hey, to the boss man's credit, he checked himself.
That's
whatever
happened.
And the last 2 games, you're seeing reverses. You're seeing Malachi Tony passes. You're seeing stuff you didn't see the first 8 or 9 weeks. You think it's a coincidence? No, because the season's on the line now. So, good job all around.
I think that I know a lot of people are saying in some of my own little text groups, I see people saying, Pringle's the guy. I know Pringle and Fletcher are like this. Supposedly the family's their best friend. They're really close. And I saw Fletcher say a nice post about Pringle, like shh. And Pringle is a beast, and he's just so quick. But I think I think Pringle's great because you also saw Brown running the ball wide outside, which we did not see. I think if Fletcher goes wide outside and also up the middle, you're going to see a different back. And this is Fletcher, who is running for 5.1 yards a carry with one move up the middle. Every single time Fletcher carried the ball, it was the exact same thing. It's like, I wonder what the play is going to be. Fletcher up the middle. So I think if Fletcher gets a chance to run outside, like he did the overtime, and he can break out, and they feel more comfortable, you're going to see a lot of good things. And I think you're going to see the running game get that much better. Pringle, I just think hits this.
No, go ahead, Brett. I'm sorry.
You go.
No, go ahead.
You joined late. You can go.
You were cooking. No, and just like the thing is, Fletcher and Brown are very similar, but you put Pringle with a Fletcher, and it's a difference.
They're in between. I think Fletcher's somewhere in between Pringle and Lyle, and then Brown. I think Fletcher's a little faster. Is he probably, Gio? Or no?
Then who?
Then Brown?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a little faster, and I think he has more of the it. I mean, Brown does not go down. As you saw on the run in the end zone. I mean, you need 3-4 once he gets going. Well, Fletcher could be like that too. I think once Fletcher gets an opportunity to go outside more, it's going to be a whole different running back. And that's why I'm not as worried about the cold weather, because I think we're going to be able to run the ball a lot more. We're going to focus on running. Our offensive line is going to feel good about it. But there's something special about Pringle, like you said. Another guy that's been getting in the game the last two games is the guy that obviously here, Gio, and he stepped up. Because Gio has been saying that about, is it Marion, number 0?
Oh, I was literally gonna mention his name.
He really wasn't part of the offense, and I think he listens to the podcast, and he heard Gio saying, "We need more out of our third receiver. We need more of our third receiver," and he has stepped up big time.
Yes, he has. The last couple of games, I was literally gonna go there right before you mentioned his name. He has really stepped up his play and given us someone else, obviously in the passing game, other than because Daniels has been hurt. Other than Tony, you got to have somebody else. And, he has really, really stepped up his play. Great job.
I was glad to see Lofton get a touchdown because after he he's running in slow motion. He had on the Malachi pass. Was that the Malachi pass, or the hustle? It just didn't seem like he was hustling. Maybe now that he got that touchdown, he's going to be a different player. I know he's nicked up. Everybody's nicked up. He just hasn't come as advertised. When all of X is ripping you got to give it your all. We got to stop with this experiment. I'm proud to say they went back to him. He got the touchdown. I love it when, it's that fine line when they when they have to look at it on the replay. And it's so important for that guy to get that. You think, okay, you just score right after it. But hey, him getting the touchdown hopefully opens up his game. Because if he can open up, JoJo had some good plays in this game. Other guys, Joshua Moore on the sideline. A beast taking that ball away from the guy. We have so many weapons. I thought Carson Beck played his best game. I thought Carson Beck was leading everybody. He was not throwing the ball behind at all. Everybody was being led. He didn't throw to the wrong team accidentally. So I just thought it was I thought the performance on offense and the way it's called, you can just see everybody is more excited.
No, they're peaking. If I'm any other team like these, like Ole Miss at 6 or a 6-7 team, I don't want to see Miami make the playoffs. Absolutely not. Like you don't want if Miami gets in as a 10 or 11 seed. You want Miami coming to your place in the first round? I wouldn't. Not. So they're probably rooting for Miami not to make it at this point, the way they're playing.
Not when Miami's on their game.
No.
Miami's a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde at times, to be honest. It's really weird. I will say, though, big props to them on what they've done the last 2 games. I want to see them continue to do so over the next 2. Virginia Tech is not a very good team this year, so would like to see a very similar outcome. I know it's on the road, so maybe not 40 points, but, put it up in the 30s, hold them to a touchdown or 2, and I think that's a really good performance, to be honest, on the road.
Absolutely.
And then you got Pitt to finish up the regular season. It's about style points now. Totally. At this stage of the game, it's style points. Every point that you could put up, every big play, make it count, because this is basically an audition to get in.
Oh, and they know that, because I know that later in the game we changed the quarterback and all that. Beck was throwing the ball really late in the game, up 30. So Mario and the staff knows that there is no, right now you cannot let your foot off the gas, because the people in the crowd were like, damn, we're throwing the ball in the early fourth, up 30. Yeah, yes we are.
Even Emery threw the ball. Emery was throwing until, like, the play before last we threw trying to score. We definitely wanted to, we missed the field goal. We put in the other kicker, correct, for that one?
The guy shooting photography right next to me said, wait a minute, Beck is still in the game. I was like, it's still in the game.
Yeah.
So that was an awesome performance. The defense is just getting better and better and better. Man. I know they gave up those yards, but if you think about it, I mean, the gang tackling, just the amount of aggressiveness. It's like, I've seen other teams play. I mean, Ohio State maybe another defense, but to me, we're a top five defense. We are just swarming.
Absolutely.
And can you imagine if they actually called penalties on the other team? Did they call penalties? Is it still Forgio?
By the way, I got to give them credit. The penalties have really cut down the last few games. And I didn't think that would be possible in the middle of a season. Whatever they did, got to give a lot of credit to the coaches, because it's been cut down tremendously. Yeah.
No, since the SMU loss, it's a totally different team. And that's the coaching. Good job by them. They've turned it totally out, because I think you mentioned that Gio, they're like 133rd or 134th in penalties or something.
They were 130. They were 131st out of 136 teams coming out of the SMU game. It was bad.
All right, we're going to talk more about the North Carolina State game. We're going to talk more about Virginia Tech game. We're going to talk more about the obviously the rankings. We know everybody. We're going to answer some comments now. Remember, follow, like FTSN Network. Bobby and the guys do a great job. Subscribe to the CanesWear.
Speaking about Virginia Tech, you guys saw that hire?
James Franklin? I was going to ask you. So a lot of people are already saying that they're very quickly going to become an 8-9 win team. What do you think, Gio? What do you think about them going forward?
I think it's going to – all right, so I know they're going to have the financial backing for him because of some influx of money that came in through the program and whatnot. My question is, how fast can he change the recruiting landscape? Because Virginia, just some of those surrounding areas, they used to plug guys from the Carolinas and Virginia and all that, and some guys in New Jersey and everything, just all those surrounding areas. They used to pluck a lot of those guys, and Virginia Tech used to recruit on a much better level. I'm not saying they were a top 10 recruiting team, but they would usually average in the 15s to 20s before, until, Fuente came in, and then the most recent coach, I forget his name now, but he was an alumni, and it just didn't work out there. But if you look, you got to go back to about maybe 2016, 2017 to see when the last time Virginia Tech was actually recruiting at the level that was acceptable for that program. They have fallen to the abyss of talent acquisition. So he's got to get a lot of talent in there. I think he's going to hit the portal really hard when December comes. I absolutely think so, because I think they're very devoid of talent on that roster, just overall. And they're just not recruiting like they used to. They're not getting guys out of the portal. I think he's going to change up some things with that. Now, overall, from the high school recruiting side, I think it might take a year or maybe almost 2 years to kind of get those kids within the state to say, hey, this is a serious program again. We could come here to play again. Because Virginia's up right now and whatnot, but if Virginia Tech has a serious coach and there's financial backing, Virginia Tech will be top dog again very quickly. I don't know if it'll happen in a year, but I give them 2 years, and I think that they could be an 8 or potentially 9 win team. I absolutely do think so, Mondo. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think it's a great spot for Franklin overall too, because I almost compare it Virginia Tech is, to me at least, they're like the Ole Miss of the ACC. There's not expectations to win a national championship there, but They're happy if you could average 8, 9 wins a year and, your occasional 10, 11, maybe potentially a 12-win team every now and then. They're happy with that. So I say that Virginia Tech is the Ole Miss of the ACC.
No, that's a good comparison. And obviously he caught a lot of flack, but I mean, no, did he win it all? No. Did he have loaded rosters? Yeah, but it's not like he was a scrub. The guy he got him to the national semifinal here in Miami last year. Good great
His
resume.
quarterback choked it.
Yeah, his quarterback
Drew Howard choked that game.
yeah, and choked
I
this year
think
at home.
he's a great recruiter like Mario, and and they say he beats all the teams he's supposed to beat. He just doesn't win the big games. But I mean, Virginia Tech, obviously, Virginia I know has a lot of money too. They just don't spend. I mean, they have a lot of money set for sports. They may now with the guy, their coach is the guy from Clemson, correct? And they've obviously improved dramatically in his second year. So I just think that we've got to just I think it could be competition. I'm just happy he went there and Florida State did not get him. That's what I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Florida State
he does not seem like a bad guy. He doesn't seem like a bad guy at all. Now, obviously, I don't know what the guy from
they could have had him,
a pretty good guy,
and they didn't. So I mean, it'll be interesting. This whole coaching carousel. I think with the Gators get their guy in Kip Lane, and
Well, now LSU is sneaking in the side door now. Watch them now. LSU is.
These teams get like $100 million buyouts. So
what's funny? What's very funny about this LSU situation with Lane? I said it on this very show over a month ago, and I also said it on the X Spaces with Canes Jones that he hosts every week with a roundtable.
Yeah.
And I told people then I said I think that Lane would take the LSU job before he takes the Florida job. That I think it's a more lucrative job. I think of it this way: who does he have to compete with for in-state recruiting in Louisiana, which is a hotbed for football talent?
Mm-hmm.
Who does he have to compete with? What, Texas? There's plenty of talent that's out there in Texas. He's gonna have his pick of the litter in Louisiana. He's gonna get almost anyone who he wants if he goes there. I think he does end up going there. I think we're gonna have that answer fairly soon, within the next week or so. I said it a month ago. Some people were like, "Oh, no way! For sure, he's going to Florida." I don't know. Florida's in trouble if he stays put with Ole Miss, which I said before. I brought up to people. I said, why would he leave when he has such a great situation? They pay him so well. Jimmy Sexton is his agent, so he's always going to maneuver around for another extension or pay raise for Lane. And then just the expectations at Ole Miss, they're not expecting national championships.
It's a no-lose situation. Exactly. And would he have left Miami? A lot of people wanted to come here instead of Mario. They wanted to come before Mario. Would people think, if he came to Miami, he'd never leave? I don't believe that. I think a coach would leave Miami to go to LSU.
Yeah, LSU is a very attractive job.
So it's like, and we're talking about a school they have, obviously their alumni base is huge, all the money. They've obviously got a great situation. They've won championships, multiple championships in the last 20 years. So I think it'll be interesting to see. So you guys have anything to add before I get to the comments?
No, that's about it. I just, everyone make sure to shop at CanesWear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida, the spot where Miami fans shop. There's not only Hurricane gear, there's Heat gear, Inter Miami, Florida Panthers, got the season going on right now. Miami Marlins, or if you still call them the Florida Marlins, like we always did growing up.
We have Florida Marlins shirts. I love the old logo.
Yes, absolutely.
We definitely love old logos. The Dolphins have won 3 out of 4 quietly. I mean, I'll give that team credit too. That they could have folded, but they didn't. And there were a lot of fans who are upset that they're winning. But at this point in time in life, I just win.
That was a crazy game.
Go 1-15 doesn't mean you're going to be a good team. We know these rookie quarterbacks. It's very difficult for them when they come to a bad team. Evan Orlowski, I think it says 4:51 a.m. So I don't know. Did he just start give this comment now? These comments, or were they earlier? At least that's what I see. But he says he's nuts if he thinks Miami will get ahead of Notre Dame. I don't know if he's talking about me, but I definitely think Miami will get ahead of Notre Dame. and they are purposely keeping Notre Dame ahead of Bama, and they definitely are. That is 100% correct. They said today that once they get in the tier, they will compare them. We're not in the same tier yet. Oregon's still getting credit for against Penn State, correct? It is crazy like that. Why aren't we getting credit for beating Florida State when they were in the top 25, and also USF for that matter? And yes, if Notre Dame had one loss, that could be discussed. We have the same record, 100% agreed. But remember, we're ahead of most teams with a 8-2 or 9-2 record. I mean, Virginia's leading the ACC right now, right? And they're several spots behind us. So, and they've had a couple of good wins.
It's Georgia Tech right now.
I think it's GT. I might be wrong though.
What?
The ACC
Georgia
leader,
Tech leading the ACC.
or are they tied? They both have one.
Georgia
loss,
Tech and Virginia, right?
I thought they both had one loss.
Yeah, well, the caveat with Virginia, they actually did play another ACC opponent this year.
It wasn't
counted. They lost to NC State, but it didn't count as a conference game. So crazy.
What a joke!
That's crazy. It's an extra conference game they chose to play.
It should have been counted anyways, to be honest.
Exactly.
They're in the same game.
And Notre Dame should count. Notre Dame should count, but I know that
like a Gio's face.
Let's see. Hassan, Gio, and Brett, you can't go wrong with those guys. Wonderful guys. Thank you, Hassan. Hassan's back on the bandwagon. We're treating Mario good. Thank you, Hassan. We love you. Looking forward to what wonderful news Gio has for us. And Gio's been giving it. And these are questions, obviously, before we got on the air. And comments, are we on Cuban time? No, we were actually pretty good today, I'd say. Both Gio and I are on that time. We usually get ready right about 5 minutes after we're supposed to be on. Let's see.
We're professionals, damn it.
That's the story of my life. Yes, Evo invention. We just need to win and let the chips fall. Yes, we blow out everybody.
Exactly.
We will get in. I guarantee it. And I still don't want just to be in. I want a home game. I mean, call me crazy, but I think
you're crazy.
I want a home game. I mean, really, we did have more of a chance at a home game if some of those other games people would have lost. Notre Dame needs to get in the conference, Alejandro. We couldn't agree more. It's ridiculous that they can do whatever they want. This is I hate that. They have their own TV contract.
I'm glad you brought that up. I had a conversation. Yes, they've got the cushy for 15, 20, 30 years, the NBC deal. But honestly, I was talking about it with somebody today at work. If you're them, football-wise, why would you get into a conference? Right? They get rewarded. Exactly. So why are they going to jeopardize? They're making a ton of money. They, as you see, well, last year they were good. This year they're good. I will say their head coach is really good because that team that I saw last week was much better than they were earlier in the year. They've really improved. They're good. But why get in a conference? Why put yourself in the gauntlet of a ACC or SEC or whatever and risk 2 or 3 more losses when independent? Play in Miami, play in A&M out of conference. Okay, you lose 1 or 2, as you see. They've lost 2. They're in the top 8, right? Top 9. There's no incentive for them to join a conference. For what?
Well, I don't think they're going to have a choice when.
Well, that might be different. But.
I call it the Power 2. What's coming?
The AFC, NFC type of thing.
Yeah, the Big Ten and SEC becoming these super conferences with 64 teams. I think they're going to have no choice at that point.
But I think Notre Dame could change the landscape of college football if they decided to join the ACC, I think.
Now,
if they join the ACC, that could change everything.
I want to hear what you guys think, because if that does indeed happen, what Gio's saying, so obviously 12 teams probably won't be enough. Now you're probably talking, the commissioner, the committee guy said that they're probably looking at 16 teams going forward. So before it was 4, I always wanted to keep it at 8. Then it became 12. I've warmed up to it. But even now at 12, so it just seems like you could have 12, 20, 35. You know, but that team should be number 36, 30. You're always going to have somebody complaining.
Like basketball.
Yeah, basketball is different because it's basketball and it's 64 teams. You're never going to have number 66 should have got in. Nobody's going to care. But
no, people do care. People do care.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to win the championship. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, I mean, it's just. I would have thought
that wasn't always 64. I think that started off at 16. Then it went to 32. That wasn't always 64, and then it was 48.
Yeah.
But on Notre Dame's point, for those people that don't know this, I'm sure everyone does, but just in case you haven't been around for it as long as some of us, Miami was independent, Florida State was independent, Notre Dame was independent. I believe Miami was the only team with a contract. Miami was the only team that had a sponsor at that time, Nike. That was the first team they decided to sponsor. Miami was the champion. I think the only reason Miami joined the conference is so they could get basketball going. It's so they could play basketball in the Big East.
The Big East.
And that's why we went to the Big East. And so I think that was the big consideration. Notre Dame didn't need that. Florida State obviously joined the ACC. We joined the Big East. But there were several teams that were in those days. And we could play whoever we wanted in those days. But Notre Dame is so big. And they signed that lucrative contract on a television contract with NBC in 1990. And that pretty much catapulted them.
It's been that long.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Crazy.
Thank you for reposting the stream, 863 Kane. Juan Manuel, welcome to the show. Gio Brettonmondo, back from vacation. Nothing to see here at Miami. While you're gone, Pringle is emerging as running back one. Keontae Scott Dunn, Fitzgerald in, new tight end Flip, and Sam Levitt is shopping himself. Boring. You're right. Nothing to see here. Always love that meme. Alejandro, thank you for reposting the stream. Daryl, why is the committee only talking about losses, not wins? This is the comment I saw earlier. Quality of wins is just as important. I can beat G5 teams and lose by one game and be 11-1, and I'm suddenly good. No, the whole resume should be what matters.
Absolutely what Daryl's saying, because I had several Notre Dame fans arguing with me. They're like, oh no, but Notre Dame's been the better team. They'll end up winning the 10 remaining games if they go 10-2 or whatever, and Miami lost 2 this year, and this and that, when it's not being accounted for who Notre Dame has played. Like, even this, like the 6 teams that Notre Dame plays from the ACC with their contract, like 5 of those are not very good teams. They're really not. If you take a look at it, that they have not played that many good teams this year outside of, Miami and Texas A&M, which they lost to. And this is why I get to the point, like, so they can get away with it scot-free. Just, we're going to schedule a bunch of cupcakes and everything, a whole bunch of G5 teams and Power 4 teams that, are lower tier, not even mid-tier Power 4 teams. And we're just going to get into the playoff. But it doesn't matter that we lost to Miami. No, just nothing to see here. Nothing happened. Yeah. No, we didn't lose. No, it's a figment of your imagination. Miami didn't beat us week 1.
No, and like you see what happened with us last year, losing late. Also, a big factor is when you lose. Because last year we lost 2 of the last 3, right? At the end of the season, Notre Dame lost their first 2 this year. It's all but forgotten at this point. You couldn't even I couldn't even tell you the A&M score right now in week 2. A&M beat them by 1 point on the road. So, yeah, a lot of it is also when you lose. Because if Notre Dame would have lost 2 weeks ago, we wouldn't even be sitting here having this discussion. So
I think that's a big factor also.
48-45?
Something like that. It was really
close.
No,
it was like 44-42.
Yeah, it was a close wild game. We also shut down Jeremiah Love is in conversation. People think I don't think he's going to get it, but as a Heisman Trophy candidate, I think he was 10 rushes for 33 yards against us.
Yeah.
And both the other guy wasn't any good. So we totally shut that team down. And people, it was our first game. You're coming off the national championship game. You were no slouch last year. I mean, it's crazy. I don't
know who tweeted it, but the guy put on there, I just spoke to an ACC coach, and the guy told me Miami has a national championship caliber defense. He just said it, some unnamed coach or whatever. They do. Their defense is that good. Their defense
is a very good defense.
No doubt about it. And the other thing here is someone said a great tweet today, or post, whatever you want to say. The NFL, if you lose the last week in the playoffs or before the playoffs, it counts the same as if you lost the first game of the season. It's not like, oh, wait a second, we lost the last game of the season.
It should be the entire resume, the body of work.
It is an entire resume. It used to be that way that you lost, but now it's a different bowl system, and it should have never been that.
Yeah.
They say,
the thing is,
lose early.
Yeah, the thing is in the NFL, though, it's decided by record. It's like the Eagles, the Lions, whoever. there is no 12, 15, 20 man
But there's
conglomerate
There's
committee
tiebreakers.
getting together.
You know what's
Records.
funny? You know what's funny about it though? Like the Notre Dame fans that are arguing it to me, they're like, "Oh no, well, Notre Dame's been the better team down the stretch," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so we're just supposed to throw the entire resume out the window, right?
Let's see what they did in 5 years.
We're just supposed to ignore what happened.
Last night the wife sees me laughing on the couch. She's like, "What are you laughing at?" "Oh, nothing, honey. Just Gio going back and forth with the Irish fans. Give me a few
I know
minutes.
that Gio must not be sleeping. He's there.
They were engaging with me. Eventually, I got tired of it. I'm like, all right.
Gio's quote tweeted them and everything.
I know Gio was going out. He reminded me a little bit about that booster we had here a couple of years ago.
No, look,
Gio worked with. He was always going back and forth. They're just outrageous. The Notre Dame fans are absolutely outrageous, and every single time under one of their posts, when they try to finagle around this and try to give their reasoning, they put #GoIrish. You know what? #No Irish. How about that?
I'll say this. I'll be livid if they get in ahead of us. But I think I might be madder if Utah or BYU do. Come on, man. Give me a break.
But I agree on that. They did though. So I understand what Gio was saying. But the key thing is I don't want to get too excited on this Notre Dame Miami thing because then we come out and lay an egg and lose, and then we
have no discussion if we lose or win by 3.
Oh, absolutely.
But everything we've said until then doesn't matter at all. But here's the thing. Fan I said we're better every year. Miami fails, and they're terrible in November and December. What does that got to do with every year? Like 3 years ago. This is this year.
I will say I will be very surprised the next 2 weeks if we lay an egg. The way we're playing, I'd be really.
I totally agree.
You know what's funny? I had a Notre Dame fan tell me, they're like, "Oh, so how did you guys jump over Louisville if they beat you?" And I told them, I said, "You're literally comparing two totally different things." I told them, if Miami is 10-2 and Notre Dame is 10-2, how do you compare those teams? The best way is they did it on the field.
Well, we were ahead of Louisville. We were ahead of Louisville before when they had 2 losses. When they had
here's the thing though. Now Louisville has 3 losses. It's not even a discussion anymore.
That's why it's got.
If Miami loses another game, it shouldn't be a discussion anymore. You know what? Notre Dame gets the spot. But if both teams finish 10-2, that's the resume. 10-2 teams.
Whoever runs the college football playoff and the ratings and all this, obviously in these last 2, like last year, we saw Ohio State lose to Michigan in the regular season finale. They were the 8th seed. They didn't make their conference championship, and they won it all. And now we got all this talk now, so they must be loving this money-wise because everybody's going crazy with this stuff. So in that sense, they're winning a home run left and right because everybody's on Tuesday night. I'm running to the TV. I'm here throwing my kids away. what are the rankings like? It's crazy.
My prediction is I think more correction is going to come. Miami's going to continue leapfrogging some teams.
Hope so.
And I think they're going to get in by a hair on the last week. Miami will be number 10 on the final ranking.
Well, I don't want to wait for that last poll like we did.
So we need to get to 10, is that right?
Yes, they need to get to 10. Unless you get an ACC game, and that's a whole.
Yeah, that's
so if we're 11, we're not in. Is that what you're saying? We got to be 10?
Yeah, if they're 11, they're not in.
They have to. The bottom line is they have to get rid of the championship games on addition. I can see in basketball because everybody is in it. It's a lottery, so everybody has a chance. Okay, so everybody gets to play for it in basketball because you've got everybody. The ACC, everybody used to be. Now that we've added so many teams, 2 teams are not, or 4 teams are not. But in college football, it's going to be a detriment to a lot of teams. Look, great news! I got to my ACC championship, or SEC championship, or Big Ten championship. But I lost, so now I'm out. It would have been better if I didn't play. I think teams should be able to say, I don't want to play in this. I've got 2 losses. I'm locked into it's just like playing in a bowl game. I've got 2 losses. I'm locked into the poll. I guarantee to get in the playoffs. But now if I lose this game, I'm out. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, what's going to be critical the next
game before play?
What's going to be critical the next? Now Gio confirmed that they got to get to 10, not 11, because I wasn't 100% sure.
But why should your team play in that game if it's not going to help them? If it can only hurt them? You're forced to play.
Yeah,
Doesn't
well,
make-
you know what's funny about what you're saying, Brett. I've asked some people this question. I've posed it like this. I said, would you prefer for Miami to just get directly in the playoff as an at-large, or do you really want to play an extra game, the ACC championship, if they somehow because there's still a possibility, but it's not very highly likely.
On a
Some
neutral
things have
field.
to happen.
On a neutral field.
On a neutral field, ACC championship game, you have to play another. And if you lose that game, very likely you're out. If you win, you'll still be in. But is it really worth all that trouble? And I look at it like this, even from a team perspective, many teams, why would you want to play that conference championship game when you have the playoffs coming up? What if you lose someone? Or what if you have an injury bug, which Miami's hit a little bit of an injury bug near the end of the season here? I think it's a godsend for Miami. You get some time off for some of these guys like Mark Fletcher and OJ Frederic, who Miami gets into the playoffs, those guys will possibly play again.
Well, I guess you could also look at it this way also, but contrary to that discussion, if you do make your conference championship, regardless of conference, you're pretty much locked in to make the playoffs, unless you're get your third loss as the loser of that game. So, I mean, it does, and I'm sure finationally these schools get a lot of money for making the conference. Yeah. Alumni.
It's like perfect example, like the SEC. SEC. This is why I continue saying the Power 2 in the future. The SEC and Big Ten right now, they're two nominees for the championship game. No matter who loses that game, they're in the playoff. This goes to show you where these things are headed right now.
Oh yeah.
And the other thing before all this, both the SEC and Big Ten, they were the only two conferences that were trying to vie for this. People forget this before this season when they're in their discussions about potentially changing how many teams actually play in the playoff and this and that. Both of those conferences were trying to push to get a 16-team playoff, and what would be granted to them is
16.
four automatic spots for SEC and 4 automatic for Big Ten. And that no one else gets 4 and 4 like that. Just saying where we're headed.
But there is a lot of people out there, national pundits, national people that have 1 million followers. I mean, that are saying this the ESPN sponsored SEC tournament. I mean, they know. I have not seen any national person, and I'm not talking not Notre Dame fans, who's you guys that have said Miami should not be ahead of Notre Dame. Why? No. Everybody is saying it. And when everybody gets hold of it, that's why we need to do everything we can to win, blow teams out. So the conversation is not mute at the end of the year.
I think it just needs to be continued to be pushed just through the national. I mean, look, I put up a couple posts over the weekend and hundreds of thousands of people saw it and everything. I'm sure that made national rounds and everything. That pressure needs to be continued to be applied.
Correct,
because there's a writer that I highly respect. His name is Dan Wolken.
I saw that.
Covering college football, I think possibly longer than I've been alive, potentially. I know he's been around for quite some time.
And not a big Miami fan, I'll say that.
Yeah, and he said it today. He said it today in his article. I didn't get to read his article, but I saw his byline before, with posting it and kind of advertising his post. And he said that it would create so much issues within this whole thing of having a committee and everything that if they did not honor the head-to-head, then what are we doing here? What are we doing? Why even have a committee? Why?
Dono said today, which was really good. He said, "What AI at Miami 7?" He asked Grok 4.1, and he gave him the answers. And Miami was number 7. I'll take Grok any day, like the old computer polls that they used to have. The year that Notre Dame beat us in the Cleveland Gary not fumble game, that they beat us and we missed a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. And Notre Dame played, I think, West Virginia in the championship game in the Orange Bowl. The New York Times poll, which was a computer poll, went ahead and voted us number 1. So even in those days, human error, humans look at it. All right, moving along. Evo Intention. Well, hey, Brett, will you be getting any of those Adidas backpacks the player is using? I'm not sure which one they're using right now, but I know for next year we have the most awesome backpack coming in from Adidas and Sprayground as well. I'm not sure when that will have that. I know we've already ordered it, but it'll probably be closer to the season. But the one from this year, I don't see us getting. We will have the one for next year. Hassan Gio, will with Scott seems not going to join. With Scott seeming like he's not going to join Miami, do you think Miami will go after Fitzpatrick or someone else, or just take the one?
So I think he got the names mixed up. I think he's talking about Blake Stewart. So Miami's still trying to figure through that situation after his Georgia visit. It was expected that he would have had a decision at this point. Hasn't happened. Miami has been actively recruiting Justice Fitzpatrick, Minka's younger brother, throughout this fall. He is committed to Georgia. Haven't gotten a lot of positive feedback on that one lately. So it might be a boom or bust situation where if Miami doesn't get Blake Stewart, that might be it for the safeties in this class.
Mm-hmm. All right. New King God, welcome to the show. The committee is valuing losing over winning. Definitely are looking at, they substantiate it any way they can. Notre Dame has better losses. It's like, huh? Like Miami lost to two slouches, both of them have 3 losses only. Hassan, I think he's taking Gio's line here. I think they should cancel that game if that happens. Yeah. I disagree, guys, because Gio, where would we be ranked right now if we didn't have the win over Notre Dame?
Oh, no, you wouldn't be anywhere in the playoff discussion. But then again, why even want to be in that discussion if this is what they're going to do to you at the end?
But yeah, but it hasn't finished yet. If they do, then we can look at it. But right now, do you think we'd be 15, 18? Where do you think we'd be?
Oh, I think definitely much further up, probably 18 or 19 somewhere.
So the Notre Dame game did help us, just didn't help us against Notre Dame because they're quote unquote in a different tier, right? Matthew A. Carter, welcome to the show. Notre Dame is not going to be the last team in any scenario. Miami wins out there in the playoffs. Matthew's a smart guy. I agree with him. And I do believe if we win big, if we squeak by, I think it's a different story. If we win big, I mean, everything can go a perfect scenario that we could get harmed, but I think if we win out, that we will get in. It's not going to be us against Notre Dame for 11 and 12.
It may come down to Miami, Alabama, Notre Dame. And people are forgetting Alabama lost to FSU.
Thank you.
Miami smoked FSU. So I know everybody's caught again. Everybody, and rightfully so, everybody's caught up on Miami, Notre Dame. I get it. There's more parts to this. It's like if Miami gets left out again, if we're impressive the next 2 weeks, it's going to be really hard to keep them out. Yes, I'm a Miami fan. We're Miami fans, baby.
I want to
call it like I see it. If we're playing like shit, we shouldn't get in. If we're playing like the last 2 weeks, 10-2, beat Notre Dame. I don't know, man. It's going to be really.
We're getting in. Really and if we blow out the teams, we got a chance at a home game. Is my opinion at least. I know everyone thinks I'm crazy.
I love you, Brett. I love you.
I know everybody thinks I'm crazy.
Yes.
We got Trey Hendricks in, not to be confused with Ted Hendricks. Trey Hendricks, welcome to the show. Gio, what if USC beats Oregon? Would they jump us?
Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. Yeah, that could be a possibility. There's many things that still have to play out.
They could jump us, but Oregon is not. Even though everybody's saying Oregon is a week 1 loss team. Gio said it last week, and they even said it on that show today, the ranking show. So it should be interesting. The good news is we still want them to beat Oregon. Do we not?
What, USC to beat Oregon? No,
I don't think.
I think if you want a team to beat Oregon down the stretch, you want that to be Washington instead of USC.
We don't want them to beat them.
No.
All right. Interesting. Who's going to the who is it now? Obviously Ohio State. Is it Indiana or Oregon? Well, Indiana's undefeated, so they'd be going to
Ohio State's gonna play Michigan next week, right? Next week?
Yes.
At Michigan. I know Ohio State's gonna be a big favorite, but we saw what happened last year. So you never know in that rivalry.
That's true. They beat them 4 years in a row, I think. Hold on, I have a Buckeye in the house. Honey, sorry.
Jeremiah Smith said he would never lose to them again. We will see.
Exactly, he did say that. He said if he misses again, he's coming to join Malachi in Miami. So we lose to this game. Goodness. I'm joining Malachi in Miami next year.
Can you imagine?
And then Rondo could be the quarterback. We'll have all set. James Kane, I love the name. Miami getting in isn't happening. They're not counting Miami beating Notre Dame. All right. Alejandro, at the end of the day, this team should be 10-0. If this team wants to make the CFP, now is the time to show the committee why. Pray for those ACC losses and win it if the stars align. but do what we should never be. Basically saying we should never lost a game. I heard a lot of people say we don't deserve to be in. And I think teams are, when you're a fan of a team, you're not looking at what the other teams have lost too. I mean, not everybody is destroying everybody. And there's other good teams out there too. So I just think we're being self-critical on our own team.
I'll say this, and this might be a strange, dark way to look at it, but if we were undefeated, then obviously we'd be a lock for the playoff. Would our offense be playing as open and free right now as they have in desperation mode?
100%
after being attacked for a week in the media, online? I would say absolutely not.
Well, so they've been attacked by Nick Saban a couple of times on College Game Day.
And why? Because if this team wasn't good enough overall, nobody would give a shit. But people see that this team has the talent and they're good enough.
This was a godsend, these losses. 100%
right. So
correct.
I think even going beyond this season, it opened up the headman's eyes like, hey, it's great, and I'm with it. Trenches, and I'm always tweeting trenches and O-line, D-line, but you got to be willing to, roll the dice sometimes. I mean, I'm all for the pound and 40 carries, but sometimes you got to, you got to roll the dice sometimes. That's all.
And the good news is it's working. It didn't work the first 6 series against Syracuse because we mixed it up. But once they got it down, it's working.
Even if the play doesn't work, it gives the defense something else to think
Exactly.
Yeah.
James Kane, NIU beat Notre Dame last year. Absolutely. Notre Dame last year. Yes, they did. Daryl, we have to complain now because the rankings matter where you are before the end. Case in point, Alabama loses terribly to a terrible OU team last year and still outrank Miami. The bias is always there. No doubt. We're never going to get away from the bias. This is the University of Miami, and we were Johnny-come-lately that dominated college football for 10 years. So can you imagine in the old days how many playoffs in a row we would have been in? We would have been like 15 years in a row. With a bye, we would either have a bye or we would have a home game every single year in the old days.
Either that or they'd be like excessive dancing. You're not going to the playoffs this week.
Miami and ACC have plenty to complain about. Also, Miami's playing a bitch as ACC about because we get effed with the calls. Totally. I mean, were there any holding calls in the game against us, against the other team this game, Gio? Or are we still at 4?
I think there was one.
All right. So it's ridiculous. Ruben Bain, Messador, I saw Justin Scott being dragged down by the throat. And the refs are like all walking around. I can't see that. Ty Raymer, welcome to the show. We wouldn't be having he just said that. Hassan, those leprechauns, Notre Dame lame fans are pathetic. You sure this isn't Gio writing this? Hassan, those leprechaun Notre Dame lame fans are pathetic. They think they're high and mighty because the Golden Dome and ugly helmets and they're ugly fans. I mean, did you see their fans? They're so
is now a nice time to mention that Miami plays at Notre Dame next year?
Exactly.
That should be fun.
That should be fun. James Kane, Notre
Dame. That's because we don't cancel it.
Exactly. Gio and Hassan are in charge of and the fact that James points it out, everyone, well, we'd beat you this time. Why? Where is there any proof that you'd be able to? We totally dominated that game. I mean, even though Mario Ball obviously came in and the leather helmets came out when we had the lead. James,
Brett, you want me to say something? You know what it sounds like to me when the Notre Dame fans always say, "Oh, but we'll beat you now. We'll beat you guys now." You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like to me like last year when Miami went into the swamp and played Florida. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they started playing DJ Lagway later, and they said, "Oh, we'll beat you guys with DJ Lagway." Well, DJ Lagway came down to Hard Rock Stadium and he got beat to a pulp. So that's what it sounds like to me when they continuously say, "Oh, we'll beat you guys now." No, there's no now. The game already happened.
Too bad. And you're right. All we heard during the season last year, we would kill you now with DJ. And off season, we'll kill you with DJ Lagway. And then what happened? It's over.
I just saw a comment. I had a chance to look. Lorraine, the great Lorraine, put on there. Don't you guys find it funny that the ACC is now hyping up Miami, et cetera?
It's called money. They make money. Miami makes it.
It's the money.
The refs have been tanking us all season. Yeah.
It's definitely the money.
That's why.
And they realize if Miami gets good, also they're gonna have to say, "Wait a second, we need this Miami." I still believe, while I know what's going to two conferences, if Notre Dame says we're coming in and Miami is there and Miami's good again, that will be a conference that'll be very hard to knock out. Notre Dame in a conference would be very strong. The television, if they could say we're going to go ahead, and they should slot the television contract. The team that gets the best ratings, the Notre Dame Miami, should get the most money. That's the way it should be. And then they can keep teams.
So you're saying Notre Dame and Miami come together? I thought I'd never see this happen.
There you go. So, so not only did Bama, not only FSU beating Bama, last week we saw Texas so much higher than Miami with 2 losses, and they lost to Florida, and we beat Florida. So that game obviously didn't happen either. Proud Cat Date, are you concerned that we haven't gotten a commitment from a QB in 2027? Most 2027 top QBs are already committed. Gio, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a little concerning, but they did just host another one this past weekend. They hosted another one a couple of weeks back. They're actually looking into the kid who's been committed to LSU, Peyton Houston, from Evangel Christian Academy in Louisiana, who his offensive coordinator happens to be the great Brock Berlin, who never lost to Florida and Florida State at Miami.
Brock Berlin.
As the offensive coordinator. So there's some connections there. They're also interested in Phillip Rivers' kid, Gunnar Rivers as well. So there's a few options. And then the one that, still kind of up in the air, it's not guaranteed, but there's also the potential that a guy like Neiman Lawrence locally at Miami Northwestern reclasses down from 2028 to 2027. I've heard for a while that could be an option on the table, but that hasn't happened yet.
Am I the only person that doesn't think it's that important anymore?
No, I was gonna pick. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go, Mondo.
No, I was gonna piggyback on that and say honestly, you saw last year, you see this year. We know who's being talked about, and we saw another name mentioned today about for next season. It's once again, it's NFL free agency. You're gonna and Miami's now shown in 2 full seasons what they can do with the quarterback.
Why pay seven figures to a 17 or 18-year-old kid that you have no idea how he's going to pan out in comparison to the 20, 21, 22-year-old quarterback that has already cut his teeth, has played in tough environments, and could win you some games? You've
seen already the Florida coach fired. You've seen the LSU coach fired. These coaches don't have the luxury anymore to sit around and wait 2 years for a kid to develop and all this stuff. It's just that times have changed. Times have changed now.
One thing a lot of people don't think about, myself included, and I see people say, why are we going to spend money on this guy like a Beck? Why are we going to – you don't realize that you have to pay money for these other kids too. They're coming as and they don't play. I mean, Nichols had to get some money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are still getting paid for sitting and doing nothing. I mean, they're learning, but they can learn with somebody else too. And someone says, well, cherry pick. You got your guy over there. Great. You recruit him in 27 and 29. We're getting before he plays in the game. Gio, Juan Manuel. Gio, give us your 3/4 of a season evaluation of Miami's 2025 class and how promising it looks, especially the DB class. Does he mean 2026?
Well, I said it before they arrived here, and I told people because there was a lot of Miami fans who were acting like the sky was falling because Miami didn't finish in the top 10. But I said it's a quality class. It was actually the best on an average star rating for the people obsessed with the star rankings. And I mentioned, just obviously not as many kids in that class. This year it's going to be a big class, over 30. But my evaluation of it to this point, QB can't say much yet because, Luke Nickel hasn't played that much. Gerard Pringle, great stuff from him early on. Malachi Toney, phenomenal. Joshua Moore, plenty of flashes. Dalen Upshaw, flashes too. The young tight ends, I think by this time next year, they'll be more entrenched and involved. Guys like Luka Gilbert and Brock Schott. O-line, that's some development that has to go on there. Defensive line-wise, I don't think we got to see everything of that because Herbert Scroggins has made some plays this year, but Hayden Lowe was absolutely expected to play big snaps this year, and it's just unfortunate the injury he had. But and then you go over to the defensive backs in particular. Bryce Fitzgerald, really, really good as a freshman. Got his first start last week, coming in to the nickel position for Keontae Scott, who's out for some time right now. So my evaluation of it, best freshman group since the first one that Mario brought in with the 2023 kids. Guys like Francis Mauanoa, Mark Fletcher. Who else was in that class? There was other guys. Hold on. You had Francis Mauanoa and then Mark Fletcher. I'm definitely Ruben Bain was in that class too. You had difference makers like that, and I think there's already some difference makers already in this group early on. So if I give it a grade, it's an A. Considering all the complaining that fans did about that class coming in, it's an A.
Now switch over to the portal. Which guys do you think have been our biggest, the guys that have surprised you the most, and also the biggest gets?
I'm going to be fairly honest. Jacoby Thomas has surprised me. There are things he's doing at Miami. Yes, there's things he's doing at Miami that did not really show up on the tape at his prior 2 stops. And I think some of this is just the amount of experience that he has in college football now. It's showing off. Not so much him being like a striker, like a guy that puts fear into the other offense, that he could knock someone out any given play. But the instincts and coverage too, the way he jumped that route last week, I was just like, wow. Like that. I haven't seen a Miami DB really do that for some time. Maybe the last one was Cameron Kinchins, but outside of him, hasn't happened frequently seeing safety play like that. So it's been extremely impressive. But other transfer guys, I'll say, even though he's missed some games, CJ Daniels was really good for Miami this year.
Yeah,
Shamar Brown had his moments as well. David Blay, a really solid player for Miami. Really, really good, solid player. And the other one I'll throw in, Xavier Lucas has had a pretty solid, steady year. I think he's someone that elevates next year, coming into his 3rd year of college football. I think he's shown some flashes, some good, some bad. But Zachariah Poyser, I put in that same category. I think those 2 guys really start to hit their stride next season as they become draft eligible. So my grade of the transfer portal class, I'm going to give it a B to B plus, and the reason why, I don't think Miami hit on tight end. It didn't happen. And not singling out this kid, but Miami hasn't gotten the production that was expected from Alex Bauman, and just you wish the tight end group was better, especially coming off of having a guy like Elijah Arroyo. But it is what it is. So I put it about somewhere between a B and B plus for the portal class.
He didn't mention one guy. I mean, but has he lived up to your expectations or not?
Oh, Carson Beck. He's done very well outside of the Louisville game. I'm going to put it like that. I was very adamant about that Louisville game, that I feel he was the reason why they lost that game. You go back and watch the tape, there's just inexplicable things. But I don't put the SMU game on him or anything like that, whatever. Yeah, the Louisville falls on his shoulders. That's fine. But you know what? He's bounced back very well. He's closing the season strong, and you hope that he plays his best ball if they get into the postseason.
All righty. Well, there you go. That's your take. You're not going to hear that anywhere but on the CanesWear podcast with Gio Mondo. Gio Mondo, thank you for tag teaming on that, Mondo. Tag teaming on the draft class and the portal.
I'd like to add Marion. I think we talked about him earlier. The last few weeks.
Oh, well, really so many guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Mondo. You see, I knew Mondo would bring it
in.
He doesn't like to brag, Mondo. He doesn't like to brag about his knowledge of recruiting and the portal, but he's got it.
It's like one of my favorite movie ever, Major League. Dynamite dropping, Monty.
Let's see. James Kane thinks mine would stomp Alabama. I think it's definitely possible. With our defense, I think we can stomp anybody. I mean, we could obviously lose.
They can't run the ball. They can't run the ball.
If teams can't run the ball against us, they can't. It's going to be difficult.
Well,
to
they
win.
can't run it. Period. They can't run it at all.
Daryl, again, Alabama's ahead of Miami because of who we lose to, not who they beat. We lost to 2 unranked teams. They only to 1. Yes, but then again, these are the best teams we've lost to in a long time. 2 teams that have 3 losses that are both teams are vying for the ACC championship for that matter.
Yeah, they're also
both
propped up.
both ahead of us for that matter.
Well, they're also propped up because they did win at Georgia, so that props them up as well.
That is a good point. Thank you. Let's see. James, Bama loses to Auburn and we win out. I agree. I think they can lose to Auburn.
Auburn has had a couple games. Yes, Auburn has blown a couple games. I've watched
Georgia games.
Don't ask me why. Yeah, that game they should have won that one. I don't know.
The refs screwed them in that game.
It was horrible. But that's the Iron Bowl. That's a game to watch next week. Is it? Maybe.
Yeah, I think we're all Auburn fans in that game. I mean, I don't know of a time that we weren't Auburn fans, unless the time that maybe when Auburn won the championship.
Yeah, these next 2 weeks are going to be crazy, man. There's some stuff that could go down. We'll see.
Yes, it's almost good that we won't be at a game. I can't believe the season just started. We've already gone to 8 freaking games, home games. Isn't that crazy, guys?
Hey, program record for attendance. I chuckle when I say it because in reality, it was 8 games.
But it was the last 2 games too that were just dreadful. I don't know why that people didn't come out. Let's see. James Kane, pick out rank only so you could use them as a top 25 win.
He's talking about Notre Dame.
I've seen people mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely is a possibility. Great point, James. Juan Manuel, Gio and Brett, will CJ Daniels coming back and will CJ Daniels coming back and Pringle and explosive receivers, Upshaw, Jojo, is this a better offense than the one that went to FSU, which was dependent solely on Malachi and CJ?
Absolutely, it is, because the ball is being spread around more. I emphasized that even back then, even before the Florida State game, that I wanted to see a third receiver emerge for Miami. They've opened up that receiver rotation again. Pringle definitely gives some juice to the backfield. I love the way Pringle plays, and I hyped them up a lot coming out of high school. However, I will say, I think with running backs, sometimes what happens, there tends to be a hot hand, and I think Pringle has a hot hand. I just want to remind people that, again, I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but Jordan Lyle was really good as a freshman last year. If somehow, some way he could find his footing again this year, it would help Miami a long way for this season if he could find his footing again. But, if that happens, who knows? Who knows if that happens? But don't write the kid off, because I feel like some fans might have a little short-term memory when it comes to things like that. And I look at it like this, Brett. I remember guys in the past who had really good freshman years, like Denzel Perryman, Sean Spence, Stacy Coley,
Frank Gore.
There's guys that they ended up having a sophomore slump their second year. Ruben Bain last year did not have his best year, and injuries or other circumstances, whatever, that came into play. And then the following year, they were right back to form and better. So don't be quick to write off a player if it's not going right now. I have this belief. I always say I give a player 3 years to really determine who they are, like what type of player they really are. And you ask me, I think, is this potentially a lost year for Jordan Lyle? Yeah. He got hurt in the first game, missed several games, hasn't looked exactly comfortable in the rotation, but it's a blessing that they have Gerard Pringle and how well he's doing right now. But don't write someone off just because someone else is shining right now, because it could be an injury away from someone having to get back on the field.
Correct. Today's shooting star could be burning up tomorrow or something like that. Yep. But you're right. I definitely agree. Well, we did not see Lyle in this game, right? Some people said he was in at the end of the game, but so will we see him, do you think, the next game, or do you think this is going to be like a JoJo thing that we're not going to see him much?
No, not like the JoJo situation. I'm going to be honest, just based on how he looked in the offseason, and I said it on this very show leading into the Notre Dame game that I was hearing he was having a really good week of preparation going into that game. And funny enough, he ended up getting the start going into that game. And then just like, I think it was like the second or third series, he got hurt and that was it. It almost reminds me of like Damari Brown and Ruben Bain last year. They literally got hurt within the first 2 series against Florida. and you barely saw them the rest of the year. Or when they did get back, they were kind of a shell of the player that people recall that they were. So Damari Brown's a great example this year. Missed the majority of last year. Some people started writing him off before the season, and in coverage, at least, you go by the metrics, he's been Miami's best cornerback this year.
Everybody wrote off Braxton Berrios when he was hurt every year. Braxton Berrios, he was not having good years. He was supposed to be excellent and really didn't do anything until that breakout year. So yeah, we people are so excited when a guy's a recruit. They're so excited. They come to the team. They want everything to do with this play. The guy has a couple of bad games or something like that, and you're right. Someone passed them, and they just say, you're done to me.
Yeah, well, a perfect example too. I look at a kid like JoJo Trader. Didn't have such a good game at all against Syracuse. The very next week comes right back. Caught the biggest pass play of the game actually last weekend on Saturday. And then he was blocking his tail off. Like even the announcers were talking about it. They're like, man, look at this kid blocking down the field and everything. That's part of the game as a receiver. You got to be able to block.
James Kane, committee moves goalposts every year to accommodate SEC, Big Ten, and Notre Dame. I won't disagree with that. That is a great analogy. They're moving the goalposts every year. Blue, welcome to the show. The committee chair said Utah has better losses than Miami. Is that why they're ahead? Did
That's
really
crazy.
say that? Yeah, Utah. I mean, that one is the only reason I can think of Utah is
they play in the Big 12.
Further apart from Notre Dame.
How good of a conference is the Big 12? I mean, come on.
I just think they want us to be further apart from Notre Dame. There's buffers in there. That's why. In my opinion. Chair is Utah at Blue. Juan Manuel Bubba the Horse wants to know, will Miami blow Virginia Tech and do a good job? As you say, blow out? For the playoff committee, Bubba wants to be blown away with hurricane momentum to the playoffs. We need to blow away everybody, for sure. Former chair was a Baylor AD, had them ahead of us also. Okay, so this is a Utah AD here? The guy that's the new chair?
Yeah.
Okay. NC State and Notre Dame game was close until the fourth quarter, Yusuf brings. Thanks for joining the show. They beat them badly, but that game was close, if I recall.
Yeah.
They had a chance.
I know it was because I had NC State with the points, and I was pissed.
Now we know Mondo's specialty, folks. Darryl, also be more aware of Utah because the AD, everyone's on this AD. I didn't even realize. Porch Kane, welcome. OU got Mizzou and LSU left. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're not out of the woods yet.
Games.
Missouri, and I don't know what
Missouri could be tricky for them.
Since I mean, you got to look back, and it's kind of crazy how it works out. I know Mateer was injured; he hasn't been sharp at all since he came back. But they got at Tennessee and at Bama. They had some fluky stuff. Like they were outgained by 200 yards last week, and just some crazy special teams plays and 87-yard pick six. Like it's crazy how they won that game last week.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if Oklahoma ran the table. They've got to be so high after that game right now if they won. And Mizzou has always been
Missouri's tough.
Missouri and Oklahoma were part of the Big Eight before. Then when there are 8 teams which became the Big 12,
you never know.
It used to be the Big Eight, and Missouri was a top team with Oklahoma. Bleed orange and green, beat VT, absolutely. Let's see. Jake says, Mondo, come on, bro. You know Narduzzi tanked that game last week. As sure as the sun rises. The only way Pitt would have won that game is if Notre Dame came in and started their whole lacrosse team.
I know people were saying that he made that comment. I mean, Narduzzi's been around forever. I think he was maybe kind of BSing a bit, but I watched about 3.5 quarters. It was a beatdown. It was it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
You think Narduzzi is going? I shouldn't say this, but you think he's he says Notre Dame to get in the playoffs over Miami? We're gonna bring out all the stops against Miami.
He was that's coming. It's a conference game. Exactly. We're bringing Tony Dorsett in the backfield.
And you're green. And Dan Marino. There we go.
Yeah. There you
go. Deport the Irish. I love Juan Manuel's comments all the time. It's got 80 little of these emojis.
How many emojis this guy got? Jesus.
Deport the Irish. from South Bend to Ireland and BYU, the Mormons, to the Vatican to convert to Catholicism, they can come back in February.
Juan Manuel's got like 7 emojis. He's got more emojis than Apple, I think, at this point.
I think so. Yusuf, we need Notre Dame to keep winning. They are our ticket to getting in. I don't disagree with that. I think Notre Dame is.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
But is it when we played them or is it now? That's always the $1,000,000 question, Gio.
What?
Is it when we played them or what now that we can't care about their rankings? How high they are.
The committee is just all over the place with that. Last year it was what they're ranked at the end. Now before this year they were saying, oh no, we're going to weigh it more if the team was ranked at the time of the matchup, which I find so funny how Pittsburgh all of a sudden was ranked inside the CFP top 25.
Yeah, it's got to be time because somebody asked a little while ago if USC beats Oregon, would they be in? So, yeah, timing is huge. I mean, because
USC timing is huge. It's when you play a team. But I think their rule should be, we'll let you know how Miami's doing this year. That should be the line. We'll let you know what Miami's record and how they're doing, and then we'll determine what's most important. Basically, they should just come out and tell the truth. Conrad, welcome to the show. Jacoby beat us when he was at Middle Tennessee State.
That's true.
Do you think Jacoby's a first rounder? I do.
I don't think first round. I think
the way if he
maybe
keeps playing,
maybe third, maybe the
way he's playing, the way he's up in the year for these things, we could have 4 number ones if he makes it. Juan Manuel Mondo, our QB maybe Levitt.
I saw his name being brought up today. I've always liked his game. It's obviously going to come down between him and 2 others, and I think we know who they are.
Here's one problem with that, though, Mondo. Miami fans would be in another off season of just questions nationally of, oh, your quarterback is coming off an injury, and
that's coming.
Absolutely.
You know that's coming for sure.
Is Scott out for the season? I guess so. We don't know.
Well,
okay,
he's out. He's out for some time. It's still up in the air if he would be ready for the postseason. We'll see. It's kind of like a week-to-week thing.
All right, so we're allowed to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to save you there, Gio. Miami put themselves into the position to be like this, putting it into others' hands. Yes,
that's my guy. That's my guy, Canes fan, and great.
That's Fondo's really guy. But also because of this, we're a better team now. And we would not have won the championship. I said we beat Notre Dame. I said we beat Florida State. I said we beat Florida. We would not have won the championship running the ball up the middle every play. We have a better chance to win the championship now. Wouldn't we agree?
With the way the offense is being run now, yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And going forward to next year, yeah, you're going to see hopefully something. Yeah.
Pencraft, welcome to the show. It's a new questioner. Are we rooting for Oregon or USC, Gio?
Good question.
Oregon. You don't want USC to win that game because then things get a little dicey with the rankings.
Okay. But if they win the game, Oregon, aren't they going to look that much better?
Yeah, but it'll make 6. We're not going to catch them anyway. They're 6.
Who else does USC play?
What happened?
Who else does USC play this year? UCLA?
I would have to look at their schedule.
UCLA if they haven't played
UCLA. I guess we'd have to. You got to go for Oregon because we're not going to catch Oregon at 6. So, I'd root for Oregon in that game.
All right, James Kane. I took away CJ Bailey is not the guy he thought he was before the game. Okay.
I'll say this.
I still think CJ Bailey is great if he plays behind our line. I didn't see it.
Yeah. No, and I'll be honest. I spoke with someone who's watched hundreds and hundreds of talent come through South Florida and just the state of Florida in general. And I told him, I said, I told him that I have concerns with CJ Bailey's release, like the way the ball comes out of his arm. It's just, it doesn't look right. The mechanics are off. And he told me, he said, you're absolutely right. And he said that was one of the issues why Miami was just kind of on the fence about even wanting to take him in the first place coming out of high school. And this is not to knock the kid down a peg or anything. He had a tremendous game against the top 10 team in Georgia Tech the week prior. But I want to tell this, at least to Miami fans. I always think it's very low hanging fruit when people think about like, oh, he's a Miami guy. It's South Florida. Like, for sure, he should be our quarterback next year. I think that's always low hanging fruit because I think Miami's going to do their due diligence, and it's not going to be just some automatic situation where, oh yeah, we're just going to take him and we're done. Like, no, there's going to be other options that enter that transfer portal, and Miami's going to do their due diligence. Obviously, they have to strike quick because you only have the winter period and it's X amount of days. But I don't think it's going to be a situation of default and, oh, yeah, CJ Bailey, Miami Hurricane. I don't think it's going to go that way.
Yeah, I will say last week, I mean, I don't know if any other quarterback in the country would have had a chance because our defense was just kicking ass. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's great, he's bad, he sucks, he's good, but our defense was just that good. Like, they were really, really good last week.
It seems like he pushes the ball a little bit. Not that can't be corrected, but I thought that too. I said that to Jeff watching. He said, "But look, the guy dropped the ball." I said, "Yeah, it's just the way the delivery is."
And I know that Jacoby made a hell of a move because he had the inside receiver. It's funny because where I sit, the vantage point was perfect, and the ball was like halfway there, and I go, pick six! And you see Jacoby come, and he caught it, and I was like, oh,
I said, we need to, that was amazing. And that other one he almost got that he put himself in position. Right?
You could see it. The ball was halfway there, and you could just see Jacoby like, oh, man, he's going to pick this ball up.
Exactly. Just for the record, Gio is not high in another guy that came from South Florida that a lot of people think could be the number one pick. Correct, Gio?
What, on Mendoza?
Yes. Are you high on him or not?
No. Well, I've always said I think he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's elite, and I think people are going to see that in the coming weeks.
It is absolutely insane because with Bama losing, I haven't even looked, but I would assume he's the odds-on favorite now, right? To win that's crazy to me. The Heisman.
He's nuts. Been, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the kid. I've said nonstop, even from when he entered the portal out of Cal. I always said he was a good quarterback. I just don't think he's an elite quarterback. And I think if people think that he's an elite quarterback, then is this a really weak quarterback class for the NFL? I think possibly.
Yeah.
It's funny because I see some Dolphin fans saying, "Why are we winning games? We're going to take ourselves out of the Mendoza sweepstakes."
No way, really?
You know what? Here's my thing about the Mendoza thing. I don't think Kurt Signetti gets enough credit with what he's doing because he had a quarterback last year in Curtis Rourke who was lighting it up on a messed up ACL majority of the season. So I'm not taking away anything from either or. I've said consistently that I think Mendoza is a good quarterback, but there's a difference. I just don't think he's an elite quarterback.
Canes fan, Mondo's guy, he'll be known as from now on. I like the way they used Pringle, a bit different. They were not ramming him between the guards. They were between the tackles and on the outside. I think that opened up the running back game in general. I 100% agree with you that we've been talking about that for a while. Before
and he
anyone who ran the ball exactly the same thing. Pringle, Lyle. I mean, if Lyle had the chance to go out around the sides and he was healthy, I think we'd see some special things too. But Pringle does have something special about him. He reminds me a little of the guy the Dolphins have, who's running fantastic right now. What's the Dolphin running back again?
Oh, Achane?
Yeah, Achane. Achane is running like a beast right now, and Pringle seems like that type of back.
Yeah,
Hassan, Gio, we are not passionate on the playoff ranking. We are passionate about hearing what Gio, Brett, and Mondo have to say. This Mondo is scoring points like crazy.
Hassan wants a gift card, I think.
Hassan, phenomenal. It's just 2 short weeks away from when we were commenting on Mario. Canes fan, I think Miami should really worry about the next 2 games and not worry about the CFP. High level, do something different, win in November. I 100% agree.
Yes. I mean, all this discussion we're having about Notre Dame and Alabama and Barf, Utah, and BYU, it won't mean nothing if we gag again at VT or at Pitt or win by 1 or by 3. It won't matter. Then actually, the pressure's on now because people are going to laugh at us. Can you imagine if we were to lose one of these last 2 or skate by?
I will not be able to go on X for a long time. I have to do it for business, but Can you imagine? I'm not saying, I don't say a word any, but Gio's conversations, several other high-profile guys, they are in conversation with guys. We're better. We're better.
No, but
we beat you, but
I'm with that quote 1,000% because 2 weeks ago we were talking here like, and rightfully so, that we were done and dead. We were 18, we were coming off a loss. We lost as a double-digit favorite again. Same old situation. And 2 weeks later, we moved up 5 spots, and we're playing. More importantly, we're playing miles better football than we were at any point during the season. So you know what? It would absolutely suck not to make the playoffs. It would really hurt. But if they play these next 2 weeks and kick ass, and they go 10-2, and we don't make it, you laid it all out there, and it is what it is. You got better. You didn't make it, but you're 20 and 4. You're 20 and
Mario and Beck. Why they blow those games?
But I think going forward, I mean, it sucks. You know, hindsight's 2020. I think we're playing different ball, and I think the head coach ate a little bit of humble pie because a lot of people were coming after him, and you know, it was well-deserved criticism, no question. And he stepped up. The whole staff has stepped up, and they're playing ball right now. They're really playing their best ball right now.
Absolutely. Mondo, the one thing Mario said to me is, if Mondo's not happy, I'm not happy.
I was not happy at my Monday morning conference call at work.
Yes, you were not.
You good? No, I'm not good, motherfucker.
Porch Kane, we need Mizzou to beat Oklahoma. Do we agree? I agree with that. I think everybody agrees we need Mizzou to beat Oklahoma. Rampage Kane reposted the stream. Thank you. Just keep reposting. Let's make our podcast.
Is that Ron Mexico? Is that Rampage Kane? Ron Mexico? Yeah. Is there a better X name than Ron Mexico? Is there? Classic.
Juan Manuel. Okay, our first Miss Hudson. I did see something about she was going to be a cheerleader or something like that. Miss Hudson and Bill would like to invite you, Mondo, to pasta dinner. Miss Hudson wants to see you and your arms in a wife beater. Bill wants the info on the players: Ray, JoJo, Jordan Lyle for Carolina.
Oh my God, Miss Hudson.
I'm doing a wife beater. Okay. Daryl Dawson in the presser. We are changing nothing. We are changing nothing offensively, just having fun. In other words, the fans are idiots. You have no idea what you're seeing. We're changing nothing. Nothing to see here. Did you really say that?
Did he? I don't know. I didn't see that or hear that.
James Kane, Brown has no vision, neither does Lyle. I find that one hard to believe, but then again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You think their vision's fine in seeing the field?
In terms of the SMU game, it was very questionable, but Brown looked much better.
He did, yeah,
much better this past weekend.
No, there were times that they could have gone left or right after they went the hole. I've seen some good things, but so you're saying if Pringle would have carried the ball at that time, he would have made more things happen at SMU?
I don't think so. If they were just trying to send him kamikaze up the middle.
Exactly.
No, I don't know. I don't know why this just came into my head. And I'm not saying he's ever going to be an NFL player or whatever, but the Pringle and then either a Charmar or Fletcher kind of reminded me of the body types. Remember the Carolina Panthers had D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart? You had the smaller, I don't know why they just popped into my head, but the shorter, shiftier guy and the big bruiser, that was a heck of a combo they had there for a number of years.
That was good. That was a good fantasy team. Canes fan, the line scheme for run blocking was different against North Carolina State. It was also about not ramming it up the middle. Zero should be starting every game.
Yep.
All right. Juan Manuel, why everyone forgets number 25, Hellcat. He is always running the ball. He's running away. He's away running well.
He's ran well, but that pecking order kind of changed earlier in the season. They started playing Pringle over him.
No, that's Wheaton, Hellcat?
Yeah, Wheatley Humphrey, yeah.
He did look good. Canes fan, he knows the down marker has never caught behind it on third down. This team is just deep, and Mario is making it deeper. That's a good compliment. One minute, why haven't we seen any other tight end than Alex Bauman, Lofton, gaming out of spring, and we have all these big tight ends, even a 6'7" walk-on?
Yeah, look, I think it boils down to this. There's things that come into play, especially trust factor. Kind of is what it is at this point, you know, like Shannon Dawson said. I don't think that's going to change at this point, to be honest, in terms of who's playing at tight end or if there's any change, barring an injury.
Beware of refs since we're away. Miami gets more penalized than the other pool teams, I think he says. And the other teams or pool teams get penalties less. I think that's pool teams, correct?
I just saw one on there, Brett. I think it's R. Romes, if I'm not mistaken, is asking without any biased, why is Utah ranked ahead of Miami? I mean, if I could answer that, I'd say I believe they have, which I think we would smoke them, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have one loss, I think, by a field goal to BYU. But Utah's got 2 or 1?
Utah's got 2.
Yeah, 2.
That doesn't make any sense, Mondo.
Oh, then I know they lost by a field goal to BYU. Who's the other loss to? Utah's got 2?
They have 2 losses. Their other loss was to, I'll tell you right now, they lost, so field goal to BYU, and they also lost, where's this other game here? Hold on. It's not popping up.
I was mistaken. I could have swore they had 1 loss. All right.
While you're looking at that, Ralph Lopez, not a Mario fan still. Don't know what the heck coaching staff is thinking. This freshman class is clearly full of difference maker. Mario Ball wasted another season. Not if he continues with this new game plan, but Mario Ball did affect us, and hopefully, we reached we hit the wall and we changed it around, and that'll lead us to a national championship. That's my goal, Mondo. How about yours?
It was Texas Tech who beat Utah.
Oh, that's right. They smoked them. Okay. That's right. Ooh, yeah.
So. Lorraine, is this the one you asked for? Whoever thought we would have to be Hollywood to get in? Style points.
Yeah.
It is style points. That is true. And they did say a little while ago, it's a couple of years ago, it's not how much you beat a team by, but that's really what it is. Thank Dabo Swinney for the heat on ACC refs. Juan Manuel,
he's been going after them. He's really been going after them.
I love him. He can be we'll put him in charge of our NIL. Just joking, folks. Pencrab, my contention in division, you have rivalry games where people really know their rivals. In a rivalry game, anything can happen. We've seen that. Notre Dame doesn't have to worry about that. Well, they got Navy. Don't they have Navy? And Army? And Air Force?
Yeah, but that's not comparable.
Do they play Michigan anymore? They used to play Michigan and Michigan State every year. Did they play them this year?
I don't think they have this year.
They used to play them every single year, Michigan and Michigan State. Maybe now that we start playing more ACC games, they don't.
Yeah, no, they haven't played Michigan or Michigan State this year.
And they would always play them. So, James Kane, okay, let's see. CanesWear. NAL is the key. You can hire a coach, but the NFL NAL situation is not there. No good. Franklin's really good recruiting in Jersey. Okay, the Arizona quarterback, I heard about him. This is the guy we just talked about. Might hit the portal. They say Miami might be the favorite. Is that who you talked about before, Gio?
Yeah, Sam Levitt. He was actually in the playoffs the prior year, last year, with Arizona State.
Mondo's going dark.
No, my wife is messing around. She opens the door and goes, "Time to sleep." She shut off the lights. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Hurricane Grin made DLCW made a point. If Fletcher didn't get hurt, we never see Pringle. Do you think that's correct?
No, I don't think it's entirely. It's kind of tough to say because obviously injuries changed some circumstance there. But Pringle did play a bit for. Yeah, how do I say it? 2 things can be right.
All right. Is that what you said? 2 things can be right? Okay.
Yeah.
818 Callie King, welcome to the show. Them idiots talking about quality losses now. What a joke. Miami's not making it as an at-large. He's saying we need chaos in the ACC this weekend. Pitt, Louisville, and UAC. Please do some work for us. I think we can make it without the ACC, and we've all said here we'd rather not play in the ACC championship if we can get around it. Correct, Gio?
Yeah. I've always said that I think Miami's best chance is getting in as an at-large, to be honest. I think the ACC stuff is just very, very difficult. It's hoping for a lot to happen.
Vegas came Tulane and UL Monroe.
Yeah, about the G5 teams. Yeah. They got to do something about it.
It's only the top 4 that are getting in, right? The top 4, or is it top 5 that are getting in that play champions that get in?
It's the
conference winners? 4, isn't it?
Five.
Five.
The 5 highest ranked conference championship winners.
So it doesn't matter who it is. The top 5, they're going to. So there's only 7 spots left.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I can see if that's happening in basketball because there's 64 teams. But when it's football and there's so few teams, that's ridiculous. But I know they want to make it, that everybody has a chance. Lido Kane 305. This committee is a disgrace, total joke, strength of losses, really. That may be the new shirt. Strength of losses? Really?
Strength of losses.
Strength of losses. Hurricane grind mode. Let's pray Mario don't blow Pringle up and wait. Eat more, young man. Gio, what's the scouting report on Mueller?
The new tight end commit is 6'5", runs a 4.5 40, 10 foot in the broad jump, 36-inch vertical. #1 ranked player in the state of Illinois. He's actually scored 30 touchdowns this year. He's only been playing football for 2 years. Tremendous athlete.
He scored 30 touchdowns this year?
He scored 30 touchdowns this year. He won Player of the Year in his conference.
And he's a tight end?
He's a tight end. Well, he's a tight end, and he's played other positions on the field, too. He's just really athletic kid.
I've never heard of a guy like
I got it right here, actually.
That wasn't a running back.
That directly from Miami themselves. 30 touchdowns. I could verify this, too, if it needs to be. 30 touchdowns this year, 1,325 yards, 14.8 yards per touch every time he touches the ball. And he had 6 touchdowns in 1 game this year.
We got him. All right.
And by the way, Alabama had some interest in him too, and a couple other programs at LSU they offered during this season. So yeah, he was having a really big year.
So he's a tight end. We have is Lofton coming back?
At this point, yeah.
Bauman is done, correct?
Yes.
And then we've got the two freshmen, correct?
Yes, the 2 freshmen. You have the walk-on as well, Ruskovich, and you would have Jackson Carver coming off an injury.
So we're going to have 6 tight ends.
Yeah, you have quite a few guys in that room.
Okay. Well, whoever
I still expect them to potentially hit the portal at least for 1 transfer tight end.
All right. BC is asking any injury updates that we can speak about.
None really. I mean, CJ Daniels is expected to play this week. He was about to go last week, and then he was just held out, but everything was fine in warm-ups. There's a chance David Blay plays this week. OJ and Fletcher don't expect them to play this week, and Scott's still going to be out for some time. So those are the key ones to discuss.
Miami should go independent again and follow the Notre Dame model. Then again, negotiation our own TV with NBC. I think that would be a difficult thing, I think, to go back independent. I don't even think that could be accepted. Same thing you think, Gio?
Yeah, I think it would be very difficult.
We need a conference for other teams, not just football. And maybe for football, too. Joseph, seems like we're playing loose now. Absolutely. Lorraine with Mondo saw this earlier. Didn't find it hilarious. The ACC is now trying to help us. Yes, that is hysterical. But as we know, it's all about the almighty dollar. Proud Cat Dad, are you concerned with us not having a QB committed? We said not really at this time.
Yeah, we answered that earlier.
Yeah. They always had their eyes on the two 2014 conferences, purging the Big 12 and ACC and pushing out the bottom feeders of both.
Yep, that's where it's headed.
Notre Dame is the most overrated team every year. Well, they got to the championship last year, so but usually they are correct. But I do like this coach. I love this coach they have.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So basically, we're going to need, like Gio said, we got to get to the 10 spot, right? So right now we're at 13, and I was mistaken. I don't know why I was thinking. So I feel better now. I thought Utah had that 1 loss to BYU. I totally forgot about the Texas Tech loss. So we could definitely leap them. We have the same amount of losses. So if we're impressive the next 2 weeks, they're playing like nobody's after the next two. Well, they play K-State this week, which that can be. You never know. BYU is going to lose to either Cincinnati or to Texas Tech in the conference championship, so that puts us at 11. So we need somebody in the top 10, and that's what makes the Oklahoma win so big because they would have dropped. So who do you guys see as possibly in that top? Yeah, maybe Bama. Bama would have to lose to Auburn because I don't think Notre Dame's going to drop.
Mhm.
Why? I mean, I just don't see.
How about they weigh the damn head-to-head?
Well,
Notre
exactly.
Dame shouldn't be that high. I really
Exactly.
don't understand why Notre Dame is sitting at number 9.
Well,
I
Kiwi
really
Boy
don't.
has figured it out. He says they play 5 ACC bottom feeders plus 2 service academies. That's why they got
Yeah.
it.
Well, the guy said today we're not in that tier. So if we get ahead of Utah and BYU, let's say we're 11, 10-ish, we're in that tier. So what's going to be the excuse at that point? Oh, well, Notre Dame was already 3 spots ahead, so we felt like we couldn't put Miami ahead of them. So we're going to see. Well, we're going to see what happens.
It seems like Gio hit a nerve with a lot of people, a good nerve. Duval KNX2 just had a question for Gio. What is the legal aspect of canceling the Notre Dame game next year? Are we stuck with that game since we played them at home? I'd say yes.
It's a tough thing because technically Miami and Notre Dame were supposed to play last year, and then there was some scheduling conflict, so the games were pushed back a year. So I believe how it was supposed to be was that Miami would have gone to see them on the road last year, and then would have been home this year, and then they wouldn't have played each other for a few years. And then there would have been a matchup again on the road at Notre Dame, and then another one at Hard Rock. So it was all changed up. At 2024, the road game was swapped over to 2026. So yeah, there's. However, these things get scheduled way out in advance. Obviously, there's circumstances that can come into play. Like, for example, the SEC announced that they want to do their 9-game conference schedule. And South Carolina basically said, hey, Miami, look, we're not going to do our game anymore. It's off. So these things can be canceled or moved around if teams really want to. Brett does have a point that, Notre Dame is helping Miami's playoff chances. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, if it really boils down to that for a final at-large bid, and they put in Notre Dame over Miami,
oh man,
what is the point in playing that game? At least in this era right now of college football, there's no point.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. Juan Manuel agreeing. We shut down both Love and Price, which I said before. We totally dominated them. At 818 Cali Kane, why is the committee talking about Alabama lost to FSU, who is 5-5, and they crushed Bama? Very suspect. Correct. Yeah, that's a bad loss. I mean, that's a really bad loss. And they got beat bad. But of course, the first game, as we know, the first game doesn't count unless you're Miami and you lose. That's the new rule in college football. It doesn't count if you're Notre Dame. It doesn't count if you're Alabama. But if you lose and you're Miami, just shut the whole program down the whole year. You don't get to play anymore. Let's see. Miami goes 10-2 and still gets left out. I got a feeling. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. If we win these 2 games big, Miami embarrassed Notre Dame, vaunted O-line, shut down both Price and Love, lit up their supposed elite secondary.
Yeah, that's true too.
And really what we needed, more the reason why we didn't have to go to Mario Ball, we needed to blow them out. We could have beat them by 30, it seemed, if we wanted to. I know that's easier said than done, but Gio, do you believe if we had beaten them by 30 points, it would be different now, or you still think it'd be the same?
If Miami still lost to SMU and Louisville along with that?
Beat them by 30 points. Throttled them.
Notre Dame. Honestly, I think if any of the 12 committee members watched that game, it wasn't even close for 3 quarters. And then Miami decided to take their foot off the gas for whatever reason. And, Notre Dame slowly crept back into it. I think it's a tough one. I do think it's a tough one to say, but if Miami just outright blew them out, yeah, I don't think it's really a discussion right now at this point. I think maybe even Miami is ranked a little higher right now. So maybe style points should matter even at the beginning of the season, honestly, looking in retrospect.
Exactly. Look at us against the Gators. Look at us against FSU. We just got to maybe this new. Hopefully, he sticks with this new offense. I still every game think he's going to change it. Let's go back to what we were doing in the playoffs, sir. It's not just 10-2 teams. One of Notre Dame's 2 losses in Miami. That alone speaks for itself. We made that point before, Josh. Exactly. One of their good losses against Miami. Well, that's the team they shouldn't be have. They're pretty much.
Yeah.
Vegas Kane, how the F is a 2-loss Utah team above us. Yes, thank God for the show because Mondo now sees they have 2 losses, not 1, and he is feeling better. Mrs. Mondo, he's going to sleep very well tonight.
Yes.
Because he knows that. Let's say if mine wins out and SMU win out and Pitt beats Georgia Tech, what happens? There's 2 scenarios I think we can play Virginia, correct? I don't know if we can play anybody else in the finals.
I haven't looked at it yet for this week. I had the one from last week. I have to do the numbers and crunch it and everything because there's all these tiebreakers that come into place and everything, and certain teams need to lose to certain teams. I always feel like when it boils down to that, it's just the chances are very low. It's
Correct.
very low because, I mean, to me, I don't think the chances are very high that SMU could lose 2 games either, which is another scenario.
In a perfect world, okay, that people want the ACC. We get in the ACC championship at 10-2. We win the ACC championship at 11-2. You think we could move at that? We know that it's going to hurt. We'll be out if we lost that game. But if we win that game, can we get a home game? Can we move up? Would we pass Notre Dame, Alabama, all those teams?
I think it would be very difficult because of Oklahoma being your number 8 team right now. Now,
they're
if
going to
Oklahoma
lose to
were to
Missouri.
lose,
They're going to lose. They're going to lose.
If they lose to a Missouri or LSU, then yeah, there's maybe potentially an opening there, but it's still a lot of football to be played.
Vegas Kane, I can't wait to play Utah in 2027 here in Vegas. I hate those teams from Utah. That's right, the U against the U. That'll be exciting. I said, Gio Kane, I said that I wanted to go straight to the playoffs after we lost to Louisville. We had 1 loss at the time, and 2. Now I'm hoping we somehow make the ACC championship game just to secure the playoffs if we win it. All right, Gio Kane says he wants the ACC champion game. Just so you guys can mark that note to that, please. James Kane, this playoff is essentially big SEC Big Ten Invitational.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
And Tulane. Don't forget Tulane.
Tulane. Actually, my cardiologist went to Tulane, and he's a big fan of it. Told me, my cardiologist, the first thing he said to me after the SMU game, I had my appointment, he says, he looks at me, shakes my head. I'm thinking, are my tests bad? Is something wrong? Am I okay? And the first thing he says, he's a good recruiter, but he can't coach.
all I know is that in the comments right here, if I see one Tulane fan say anything,
I think we're pretty good on that.
Yeah.
David, teams won't be penalized for playing in a conference game if it's close. Look at SMU last season. They did say today that it's a loss is a loss is a loss. But SMU only got their second loss.
The goalpost.
Yeah, but didn't they only get their second? They only had 1 loss going into that game, right? So they still had 2 losses.
Yeah.
So, and they played pretty tight. I thought if they needed to get blown out, I thought if they got blown out, they wouldn't get in. But
right.
And actually, we thought the same thing with Clemson. We wanted SMU to blow them out, I think, right?
Yeah.
Kane Jones, the point is, Gio, fans, sportcasters, and podcasters are talking, but not our ACC president.
Commissioner Phillips. Yeah, he's just mum is the word.
Look, we finally got an anti-Miami person. Miami suction should not be even near the top 12. All right, we got our first anti-Miami person. SMU Nation. SMU Nation, thanks for joining the show. Bama and FSU didn't happen. SMU Nation, you should go in the kitchen and make the sandwich.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
We suck, but you suck more because you're not going to the playoff.
I know more about them than you do, James Kane. All right, listen. Good job, SMU Nation. Thanks for finding us. We appreciate that.
Make me sick.
Let's see. Trey Hendricks predicting Pitt's going to take care of Tech on Saturday. We definitely want that to happen. Brett, any Miami Hurricanes cooler backpacks? Cody Kane. Yes, I believe we have the 12 count and the 24 count of them. But I'm pretty confident we do have them. I'll take a look in a few minutes if I can. But if not, if you don't see it, message me. We may just have to put them online and we have them in the store. Just message me at any of our social media sites. James Kane, let's see. Corey Green, Pitt beats GT, possible. Louisville beats SMU, possible. Let's say that happens and we throttle Virginia Tech. Are we in the championship game? It's going to take more than that, right?
It's going to take more than that.
Yeah. But we're getting closer. Canes Jones, by the way, guys, Canes Jones has an amazing show on Spaces on Friday. Is it going to be this Friday? Gio, I missed last Friday. I believe so. But it's a great show on Spaces. Check it out. Everybody that is somebody is there and more. Canes Jones, common opponents matter. We must outscore Pitt and make them look worse than they played against Notre Dame. Then at the end, that HH head-to-head will factor. Just have to win out and win convincingly. 100% agree with that. It is. I've been saying that since day one. Just blow out every team we play. Need to beat Virginia Tech by 50 and Pitt by 60, and they will not vote us down. I'm going to guarantee that. Right. SMU Nation. I just got to read her. Miami is trash, and she's not even. She's come back with the same exact comment. Okay, come up with something new, SMU Nation, please. Juan Manuel, okay. ACC hyped about this time last year when it was too late. That is correct. We don't care about high school quarterbacks. Better get the portal with the NIL. I agree with that. You guys agree with that? I mean, we want high school quarterbacks.
Yeah, no, you still want to take a high school quarterback, and you hope at some point that one of those guys ends up becoming a guy, but you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket and all your money in that basket and then kind of forge your future or just your current success either.
Yeah, we could have already a freshman. They could go ahead and the kid we're getting in 26, he could maybe redshirted to 27, correct? So he'd be a freshman then. Because we'll still possibly have Nichols at that time. Is Nichols going to be redshirted? He hasn't played in any games, so he'll be redshirted, correct? Is it Nichols?
Yeah.
So I personally think we're okay. And then everybody on every team you can recruit. I want this guy. I want that guy. I want this guy. Canes fan, NIL is free agency every year. In addition, you have to re-recruit every player every year. Great point. You now have to see your good players getting poached every year. That's got to be a difficult job. That's a very difficult job. And that's why Coach L wanted out. And Nick Saban, for that matter, too. Can someone please, without bias, give me a real explanation of why Utah is ranked higher than Miami? I don't think there is a good explanation.
There's no good explanation. Miami has better.
Only so there's a buffer between Miami.
Miami has more ranked wins than them, and it just.
They don't want to put Miami.
The committee says.
The committee said today they ranked these teams in tiers. Miami is not being compared to Notre Dame. That means they said when Miami is close enough to Notre Dame, they will be able to look at them head to head. Right now, they could not care less about head to head.
Yeah, but that goalpost continues to get moved because they still continue to keep certain teams behind Notre Dame and right in front of Miami to keep that distance.
Correct.
This is the problem that I see.
We're 4 away. I was surprised they moved Villanova. Not Villanova, the other team, Vanderbilt. Ruben Romero, welcome. Without any, okay, let's see. 1 milligram epinephrine shows up. They need to keep Lyle for 2 next season. Yeah, I agree. I hope we do. I really do hope we keep him for next year. I could see in Alabama who needs running backs going after kids like that. I hope I didn't give them any idea.
That Bain last year, same issue. Yeah, what I was talking about earlier. Just some fans short-term memory about things or writing players off if there's a bad year or they're hurt or whatever. It happens in the NFL too. There's guys that have a down year and then they come right back swinging like nothing.
You can take them over if you want, Gio. 11:30. I'll let you.
Let's see.
I'm almost done. I gotta be up in 5 hours.
He
Man,
said
the
here,
draft's too early. You got to retire. You got to hit some more bets.
Oh, yes.
He also said Lofton also, they seem to want to keep him. Lofton's been playing hurt all year, believe. All right. What happened to number 2 last week? It was like with the timing. Yeah. Geo Kane shared here. They should scrap the conference championship games and make it a 16-team playoff.
Definitely.
I agree.
100%.
Christopher Leclerc said, I just subscribed on my phone and iPad. Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher. We appreciate it. And while you're at it, Christopher, download the CanesWear.com app, please. Everybody download it. We're going to be doing specials. We're still working on some things. Every week's going to be some kind of contest on that. If you have it, it's going to be basketball scores, it's going to be hockey scores, everything. Also going to have specials only on that specials. So make sure you download the CanesWear.com app. It's on your Android store and in your app store on iPhones.
If USC wins, it's going to make Notre Dame's win look better. That's true, too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Leclerc said USC also plays Oregon and UCLA. You're correct, Brett. They do have UCLA remaining. Porch Kane said Oklahoma plays Mizzou this week. Yes, they do. We spoke about that. One Manuel said USC lost to Notre Dame, so I'm cheering for USC versus Oregon.
It's a good point.
Okay. JD Carmona, if Miami is left out 11th, who's to blame? The damn committee for not honoring head-to-head.
Exactly.
I don't care. People keep saying SMU, Louisville, whatever. Who has Notre Dame beat? I'm not even trying to be a homer.
Notre Dame beat. Good job.
Geo Kane here. If Michigan beats Ohio State, they will put them in over us. Yeah, that's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
We got to dodge a lot of bullets here.
Yeah. JD Carmona said Ohio State deserves to be in. They've been murdering teams all year. Yeah, they'll be in.
I'm not worried about Ohio State. They'll definitely be in. They've won 2 national championships in 2 years that they didn't win their conference championship.
JD Carmona, I just hope Miami gets in. Would love to beat Notre Dame again. Notre Dame is saying they beat us right now because they're a different team. They absolutely would not. We
heard that from the Gators last year too.
Yeah. Heard that for like almost an entire year, and then they got blown out. That's the funny thing. JD Carmona said, scenario, if Virginia loses to unranked team in the ACC championship game, ACC might be left out of Miami, might come in at 11. Yes, you are correct in a no. Actually, no. That would not be correct. It would just be 2 G5 teams then. Unranked. Utah lost to BYU and Texas Tech. They got smoked by Tech. Yep, we spoke about that. Canes fan said Miami lost to 2 teams that are currently 7-3, both of them. Like we lost the scrub teams, but again, we lost.
I like this Cane fan. He says the same things I do. Good job, Cane fan.
Mario, get on all. JD Carmona says Mario, get on all 4s and pray because you're going to have to face the boosters this year as to why Miami has nothing to show for 10-2.
Back-to-back years.
Yeah, that would be tough. If Virginia wins out, Miami will not be in unless Oregon, Bama, and Ole Miss lose. There's so many scenarios that could play out. I did say, though, last week, and I've been saying it in the group chats, Mondo could verify this. I've been saying that for Miami to still be in the dance and in the hunt, like still within the conversation, they had to be 12 or 13 this week. And they landed there. So everything's been going according to plan.
Exactly.
Wait. Oh, I like this comment here, actually. New King God said, I don't mind group of 5 getting in, but their spot should require them to at least be ranked 15 or above.
Great point.
I agree with that because who the heck would want – yeah. I mean, you're talking about potentially UL Monroe.
Yeah, because
possibly a playoff team.
There was talk of USF before they lost to Navy. There was talk of USF getting in at 23, 24.
Yeah. See, I didn't mind USF winning and staying up there because it was we beat them.
Yeah.
Not because I went to school on them.
Virginia Canes fan said here, Miller plays a lot of QB and Wildcat. Yes. JD Carmona, need Lofton to play like Aaron Hernandez. I certainly hope not the off-field stuff, though.
Exactly.
I'm not sure where to go with that one.
I mean, yeah, I'll take him like the other guy that played there.
Juan Manuel said Mueller sounds like 5-star. He could start in spring. We'll see. A lot of competition coming for that tight end room. 1 milligram of epinephrine. Canceling the game would result in a fine. That's it. Yeah, you know what? Take the fine. You know, the amount of millions of dollars Miami would be missing out on for a playoff spot is much more than that, than a game. Juan Manuel, why Mueller ranked so low with the way you describe him, Gio? Sounds like a 5-star. So Miami now has a pure tight end flex. So it depends on which ranking site you look at. I believe On3 recently did some re-ranking like a month ago or whatever, some time ago, and he was ranked as the number 1 guy in Illinois, and I think he's like top 5 for tight ends overall. I know there's going to be other updates coming now it's mostly 3 websites. Now it's just 247, On3, and ESPN, and no one really pays attention to the ESPN rankings because their staff development in terms of how many people they actually have doing the recruiting stuff is nowhere even close to like a 247 or I said On3. It's Rivals. Yeah. I used to work with Rivals way back. Juan Manuel said, Oregon will drop after USC. Yes, they absolutely will if they lose to them. I think Oregon will be out of the playoff if they lose to USC. There's a lot of discussion about that. Oregon goes down at Washington last game of the season. I spoke about that. I think Washington may be a better fit for potentially upsetting Oregon than USC. JD Carmona left out a home game. We're right here at the end of the comments. Kane Jones said, Brett, I thought you were about to say gynecologist.
That would be the cardiologist is bad enough. The gynecologist would have been tougher.
Jake Tapper said, stop worrying. Miami will make playoffs. And we also need USC to win because Miami beat Notre Dame. USC didn't, so they can't jump Miami. That's true. He's actually got a point.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world if USC wins that game. But
Chris Gunn said here, go Canes, guys. Beat Virginia Tech. Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by, Chris.
Yeah, that guy just made a great point. Can you imagine if USC wins that game and they jump us? So then we beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's ahead of us. And USC. You imagine that?
That's a great point.
It would be disastrous. Canes fans said, sad it comes down to you have to embarrass the team to convince folks that don't watch the games to decide things different than head-to-head. Talking about remaining 2 games. Yep. It's sad college football world we live in when things like that are coming into play. And we're not talking about a 9-3 team compared to 10-2 or an 8-4 compared to 10-2. If both win out, they're both 10-2. Very similar resumes and record and everything. How do you compare them? A head-to-head game. There's no better comparison.
And strength of schedule. Our strength of schedule is better.
I'll put it to you this way, Brett. If 2 teams were on the bubble to make a playoff, the college football playoff, and let's say they didn't play during the season. For example, I think Cam Ward said this last year about the situation with a 3-loss Alabama getting in over them because Miami was the first one left out.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward said, we'll line it up and play them and everything or whatever. And you don't think 2 teams would want to do that this year? Or do you already have that scenario that a head-to-head played out? Like,
too bad they didn't play. That's the shirt. Too bad we didn't play them.
One man said, I was told if Miami and SMU went out, they would play an ACC championship pending Pitt beating Georgia Tech. I think Miami has a chance. Yeah, but it's, again, Pitt winning that, and then Virginia also still kind of in play. There's a lot of things that are still up in the air.
Yeah.
It's not exactly direct like that. Jake Tapper, USC would not jump Miami if they win, though. Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I just, me personally, I got some PTSD kicking in. I don't trust the committee.
They'll find any way to screw us.
Hassan, SMU Nation, go hide under a rock or get a life. No one knows about you guys until you got Eric Dickerson and Craig James. And because you cheaters got the death penalty.
And that was a very good 30 for 30, though. I like that.
It was the Pony Express.
Really good. Really good.
Yes, that was.
Hassan said, Gio, do you think we will get surprise recruit on signing day? If there's any recruit that I'm watching closely, it's Tank Jones, who's committed to Oregon. I think he's the one that Miami's had the most traction with of the defensive linemen that they're still chipping away at. Not saying it happens, but He's one I'm watching more closely than others. Canes fan said, "Careful, Gio. ESPN might be paying you one day when you hit big time." I've actually worked for bigger companies before, so the ESPN thing doesn't really get me like that. Malik Rozier said, "F the committees. Cancel all non-conference games. Head-to-head doesn't matter." Yep, I'm with you, Malik. Malik is with me.
I love Malik's comment on the on X about people, just like a guy has a bad game and it's like the fans hate him now. He can't throw. He has a bad pass, has a bad game. That was
I saw that. That was pretty good. I saw that.
Malik.
It's very true. JD Carmona, I know the ACC has a bid, but what if a G5 team is ranked ahead of Virginia or GT? Would they get that auto bid? And Miami would be in at 11th because they're at large? Yes. Well, no, they wouldn't be 11th. The way it would work out with the way the rankings are set up right now, if a G5 team was ranked higher than the ACC winner, Miami would still have to be 10th because it would be.
They would get it.
It would be.
Yeah,
it would. Well, at least in terms of the seeding, they would have to be 10th.
Yeah.
So technically, Miami could technically be like 11th in ranking, but depending on the way it works out, they would be 10th in the seeding, depending on the conference.
Yeah, it's a big mess. I heard a couple weeks ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gio, that there is a way that the ACC champion could not get in or something like that. They're saying it's crazy.
If the ACC champion is ranked lower than two G5 teams, like for example, let's say an American conference and a Sun Belt winner, one of those two conferences, the ACC champion could be left out. Yeah, which is crazy. But I had Notre Dame fans arguing that with me. They were like, "Oh no, the ACC champion for sure will get it." And I said, "Well, what if a 4-loss Duke won the ACC? Do you really think the committee would want to send a 4-loss Duke to the playoff? I doubt that." JD Carmona said, and the G5 team is a conference champ like North Texas or JMU or Tulane. I would love North Texas in the playoff. I think they're very entertaining, actually, with that offense.
They are, but James Madison's like a minus 700 to win the conference or something like that. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Canes Jones, one of the last two comments here. The committee said Notre Dame and Miami come to play that game, but Bama wasn't really ready to play their first game. Yeah. It's crazy. It's the goalpost continuously gets moved, and it's like there's factors that they throw in just out of nowhere, outside of their bylines. That if you read the committee's website with playoff rankings,
I know a lot of people have said what Canes Jones said as far as Alabama went into the first game, and I think Mario says it every week when he comes on Monday morning on the radio. He's like, if you don't show up to play, you'll get your ass beat. And I mean, to FSU's credit, they came out that day and they bludgeoned them. They ran for like 250. It happens. You have last week. Did anybody have Miami beating NC State by 40, by 35 after they beat? I mean, so it can happen. Anybody can have a day where
most people were concerned going into that game. Not even just Miami people, but most were concerned with the fact that NC State was a little hot coming off a win over a pretty good Georgia Tech team.
Yeah.
CBS Sports just came out with a good article my son just sent me. Since starting this, is just a couple of quick lines. Since starting the season 0-2 with last-second losses to major playoff contenders, Notre Dame has settled in. It seemed like a guaranteed shot to be in the playoffs. But as top contenders fall off the board, an unexpected complication for Notre Dame is now entering the playoff picture. Miami, the Hurricanes were dead in the water after a 2-2 midseason stretch with losses to unranked opponents, which seems to keep them out of playoff contention. However, after wins by a combined score of 79-17 over the past 2 weeks, Miami suddenly rose up to number 13 in the CFP rankings, and now Miami's 27-24 victory over Notre Dame in the season opener could suddenly be the proverbial elephant in the room for Notre Dame. So I think everybody's seeing that the closer we get to them, that's why anybody wants to know why Utah is there. They are there as a buffer between Miami and Notre Dame, so they don't have to talk about it right now. So they can still – here's what the committee is going to do. They're going to go home and they're going to say, please, Notre Dame, please Miami lose, please Miami lose, please Miami lose, so we don't have to go ahead and
it's this simple. Utah, if it all holds right now, which we don't know that yet, if Utah doesn't make the Big 12 championship, What legs does the committee have to stand on if they both in Miami and them end with 2 losses to have them over us? What is their resume over ours? They got killed by Texas Tech. They lost to BYU. How will you put Utah over us?
I got a prediction for the next team Miami leapfrogs. It's
Them?
Utah next Tuesday.
It's
Miami's
definitely
number
Utah.
12 next week.
I was if Utah wouldn't have blown out
If Utah
wouldn't have blown out Baylor this past Saturday, they would have. Unfortunately, that result and BYU unexpectedly blew out TCU also. If not, we'd be ahead of one, if not both of them already. But it didn't shake out that way.
There's really, Tulane was playing Temple. We should want Temple to win that game, obviously. But it really shouldn't matter. I'm worried about Tulane. That's pretty scary. Is there the other games that we talked about? Is obviously BYU Cincinnati. We need Cincinnati to win that game, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
We'd like Maryland to beat Michigan, which probably isn't going to happen, but we want Maryland to beat Michigan. Do we need TCU to beat Houston? Houston's at 8-2. Should we be worried about them or no?
No, nope.
We want Pittsburgh to beat Georgia Tech for sure, correct?
Yeah.
So and then we need so those teams fall. We're saying right now, did we change our plan? We wanted Oregon. Now people have made the point that how can they hold us? If USC wins, are they going to say, wait a second, Notre Dame lost, USC beat Notre Dame, but we beat Notre Dame. How are they going to put USC ahead of us? Oregon will stay ahead of us if they win. So we have one of the two teams will be behind us, Oregon or USC. They both will not be ahead of us if we keep winning. So I think we want USC. This is a possibility we could be ahead of USC because we beat. So I think there's a possibility that we could be still ahead of USC.
I would say root for Oregon there because they're at 6. We're at 13. It's highly unlikely we're going to pass number 6 at this point. Yeah. So.
And there's Louisville and SMU. We're rooting for SMU in that game? Or Louisville?
You would be rooting for Louisville.
Even though Juan Manuel said if SMU wins out and we win out, then we're in. So I don't know.
Brett, let me just say something. I'm rooting for North Korea against SMU going forward. I don't care. I don't care who the fuck SMU playing against.
It's a strong statement. They can just
yes. Pretty bold.
That's very bold, very bold. All right. So once again, before we leave the show, and we're going to say right now the polls, I'm sure everybody knows them. Ohio State 1, they're not dropping. Texas A&M 3, they're not dropping. Indiana 2, they're going to probably be in there. Obviously, Georgia 4. Georgia could lose to Georgia Tech, which would change everything for Georgia, and they'd still be in the conference. So Georgia loses to Georgia Tech, then loses in the conference championship to Texas A&M. They've got 3 losses. Would they fall behind us?
Yeah, well, that would be a wild scenario.
Wait, say that again. Say it again.
Georgia loses to Georgia Tech, let's say. And then they lose in the conference championship to Texas A&M. Would Georgia now have 3 losses? With 2 losses in a row, if we win both games out big time.
Well, is A&M already locked into the SEC championship? But they still got to play Texas.
But they're 10-0. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if Mississippi would be the only other team that can catch them. I think Ole Miss. But we got Oregon, Alabama. Alabama's got Auburn. We need to root for Auburn big time. We said we're rooting for USC against Oregon. Ole Miss. Do they play anybody? I think they have a couple of tough games, or they got nobody. They got 1 game left. Who do they have? Ole Miss.
They
should have lost to Florida. They definitely should have lost to Florida.
Mississippi State.
All right. So Oklahoma, we said as Mizzou and LSU, which is a very tough 2 games. Notre Dame, we know has got nobody, but we know we've got Notre Dame on the head-to-head, which everybody cares about. That's Canes.
Well, wait, here's the thing. I totally forgot about this, and JD Cameron brought up a great point. Because Alabama did beat Georgia earlier in the season. The way it currently stands, Alabama would be going into the SEC championship against Texas A&M. If Alabama loses that game because they're still in the playoff hunt right now, is there a possibility they drop out and that's the spot for Miami?
Yeah, but Mississippi only has 1 SAT, so you got a 3-way tie. Mississippi's also got 1 loss. Did they lose it in the SEC?
Yeah, and didn't Alabama beat Georgia? How many?
Yeah, but I think when it's a 3-team tie, it's different.
Well, what would it be 4? It would be A&M, Ole Miss,
A&M's got
Georgia,
0.
Bama.
A&M's got 0 losses.
Right. So if Texas were to beat Alabama, A&M next
Yes.
week, you would have A&M,
Well,
Georgia.
here's how it works. This is the reason why Alabama would be in. Georgia beat Ole Miss earlier this season, so
really? Okay,
Alabama gets
so we want, but if Georgia beat
Well,
Ole
this
Miss,
is barring if, like, for example, let's say Texas A&M goes down to Texas in the last week of the season, then there's a little more chaos with deciding the final 2 teams of the SEC.
So Alabama loses to Texas A&M in the conference championship. I mean, they go to 3 losses.
They're done.
There's 3 football.
I think they'll be done.
No, they're out. 3 losses, they'll be out.
Yeah, but if they lose in the championship, they said they're going to count it. It'd be hard to be, especially when we have the common opponent over them. Who knew we could be thanking Florida State to get?
Yeah, but I think the committee learned their lesson with one thing last year. They kind of forced Alabama's way in because Miami was ahead of Alabama, and then all of a sudden, Alabama jumped Miami out of nowhere after playing an FCS team.
But Alabama didn't get in the playoffs; they just jumped us. You got the call.
No, yeah. You're correct on that, but it's like the way they had those rankings. It just made no sense. Like, it was like,
Correct.
Why do you have Alabama ahead of Miami? Alabama's 3-loss team. It was just weird.
Yeah, it made no sense whatsoever because no 3-loss team should be ahead of a 2-loss team when the 2-loss team beat a top 10 team.
Well, obviously, at worst, going into next week, we need to be. I mean, I would love to get to 11, obviously, but we need to be at worst 12. Obviously, at least go up 1 spot. We got to get past Utah.
Going up 1, but even 13, if everybody wins, not the end of the world.
Yeah, but 13, then you're asking, because Gio says you got to be at 10, so you're asking to jump 3 spots in a week. So we need to get
2 weeks though, because the playoffs matter too.
I mean, right, but I'm saying
the championship games matter too.
But we need to. I think, but before next week, we need to get to 12. Yeah. And,
if we just blow out the team we're playing, Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh, which is not going to be easy, obviously. If we know these guys know they're hungry, they need to go in and just every guy needs to win their battle. Every offensive lineman, every defensive lineman, every running back. We just beat these teams badly, which we should. We're going to be heavy favorites against. Are we heavy favorites against Virginia Tech?
17 and a half. Not that I've looked.
That's a lot. And so right now, if we win that game and cover, okay. The fact that the odds makers think so highly of us, people think we're good.
That's a massive number. I mean, they're not good. VT's not good at all, but on the road, 17 and a half.
That's a massive number against North Carolina State.
Yep.
But we've only played 1 game out of Florida, right? So far?
SMU and our schedule was very friendly.
We're in November. We've only played 1 game out of Florida.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
Crazy.
We played 1 game out of South Florida.
I gotta check out because if I don't, I gotta be up in 4.5 hours. If I don't leave now, I'll never wake up.
Armando, thank you.
All right, guys,
for joining us. I don't know if we'll do it again this week. We'll look at our schedules. Thank you. Anybody follow? Mondo has the most amazing takes on Twitter. I think or X.
I got a great comment here to finish up.
He's trying to get up to being paid on X. So
there you go.
Him, like his thing, like every comment, follow him. Let's get it going so Mondo can get paid for being on X.
So Joe Lish, a Georgia Tech fan, came in here. He said, Georgia Tech fan here. Screw Notre Dame. Y'all should be above them.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Joe Lish.
And one last question I want to highlight. This one I loved because it was talking about – wait a second. It was literally right here. Hold on.
USC will beat Oregon. Martin Doobie says USC will beat Oregon. Auburn will upset Alabama, and OU will lose to either Missouri. That would be a beautiful thing.
When we do this next year, we're gonna have 0 losses. We're not doing this no more. Like you lose.
Here we go. I found
lose.
This one I love. Juan Manuel actually had a great point here. They should have a bubble team with a 1-game playoff for the last spot. I absolutely. They do that with the NCAA tournament.
The 60s, 65 through 68, 2 games.
Make the last 2 teams play for the spot.
I like it.
Mano y mano. That would be so exciting.
Yeah.
The week before. That'd be so exciting. 13 and 14. Gear it up. Are you geared up, Mondo? Actually, it's 12 and 13.
Are you kidding? Am I geared? I mean, my wife Monica will tell you my whole closet is CanesWear.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. I like that shirt. So Mondo's on X. It's what is it? Lakers Canes 305.
Yeah, and I'm always on here with you guys, and just 2 more weeks, man. Let's see what happens. It's been a hell of a ride, hell of a season, and I enjoyed coming on here with you guys. And I want to just come on here at almost midnight, and I gotta be up. I love topping up with you guys and all the questions and comments.
He's the winner this week, folks. You get to sweep up today, Mon, after the show. At the station, you get to sweep up at the Canes FTSN station.
There you go.
Payne Jones makes a good point. Physicality of football is different than from baseball, but it's a week before. It's not like you're playing. You're playing a week before. It's not like you're not playing a day before. It's a week before. So everybody follow Mondo. Check him out. Great takes. Like his posts. We want to get. How many posts do you want to get up to now? Like 500,000. What do you need to get up to, Mondo?
Oh, well, you need to get paid. You need 5 million. I think every 3 months. Is that right? That's like a good month for Gio.
That's a good week for Gio.
It's a good week for Gio. Shit.
Every time I look at mine, I'm stuck there like a million. I'm like, what the hell? 3 months. My 3 month million thing. So, but anyway, so Mondo, thank you. You got anything to add before you leave? We leave.
No, we talked about it earlier, guys, and hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And it's regardless of who the opponents are, they're not ranked, but it's road games, and you can really clear this stigma of. I mean, they put in the FSU game right on ABC. They put Mario's 4-11 November, December, right? So let's, at worst, if we don't get in, win every November, December game, and SMU was in October, right? Am I wrong? Yeah,
but we're 1-0 in November this year, right?
Yeah, so let's at least, at worst, let's erase that, win out.
Let's win out, win big, and let the chips fall where they may.
That's it. That's all we can do.
Gio, where are you going to be? Tell people real quick.
Everywhere.
Everyone can find me on X at Gio Million. You could also subscribe to the private board. There's plenty of stuff going on in there, whether it's team or recruiting. Drop notes here and there every day or every other day. There's always something in there. And yeah, you could always find me on here on the CanesWear podcast with Brett and Mondo, and we're just chopping it up, just football talk, straight pure football talk.
All right, awesome. So yes, absolutely, Gio is everywhere. One day he's on Larry Bluestein, the next day he's somewhere else. He's everywhere. So thank you, Gio. Gio, how many people watched our show today?
Over 5,000 actually, the last 2 hours. So yeah.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Thank you guys very much for making us your choice to listen to. We appreciate each and every one of you for coming in with comments. Remember, FTSN Network, like them, subscribe. Also, CanesWear, the spot, Miami Fan Shop. Download our app, please, CanesWear.com. Also, we're going to be having lots of specials coming up soon, and lots of good things. The holiday season is here. New stuff coming in everything. Columbia shirts, Spondo, are coming in tomorrow, I think. The new, the Tamiyamis, which you can show off those guns even better. So this program is sponsored by CanesWear and Mondo's Guns. Guys, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you soon. Go Canes. Thank you, Bobby and the team. Let's beat whoever we're playing. Virginia Tech.
Go Canes.
Go Canes, baby.